Jesus Christ. Let's keep. Okay. We're up on kilobytes. We're good there. Let's give it a second to make sure it's fine.
Well, it was fine for 13 solid minutes. So I wonder what the heck was going on there.
I don't know. Now, what is that? Okay, so that's an old notification. I'm just checking shit right now. Sorry,
Yeah,
folks,
yeah,
for
yeah.
all the scuff.
Live, everybody.
Alright, we are okay on my end on YouTube, okay on my end on the streamer software.
Looks clean on my end. Sounds clean.
Okay, let's just keep trying. So,
Uh, I mean, there's a lot more to talk about with this episode. We've been talking a lot about Kingpin. Do we have anything else to say about him?
um, the boy is back. I am the Boingo.
Hmm. The
Um,
Boingo is back.
um, in terms of Kingpin, he looked really good. He had like a great caring energy, caring,
D'Onofrio's
not Karen.
D'Onofrio's performance is still so solid because you've got that. He's always had that energy of I'm trying to convey that I care deeply about what I do, but also don't fuck with me because I am always on the edge of destroying you. Like just that scene when he's going off at henchman guy, I forget his name.
Mm-hmm.
That was like right out of Daredevil season one. Some of some of the conversations he'd have with Owlsley.
In the best way possible, the best way I can describe it to me, because this feels like a growth of Kingpin. This isn't the
Hmm.
same Kingpin we saw in Daredevil. It's the same character. It's the same basic roots. It's the same characterization, but he has grown into a new person. Like he's aged some years essentially.
Yeah.
He's grown some, so he matures in different. Even when you're adult, you mature,
Mhm.
and he feels a little bit more comic booky.
Yeah.
This, let's put it this way: Daredevil's Kingpin, I could not hear saying "Curse you, Spider-Man." This Daredevil, I can hear him say "Curse you, Spider-Man."
This Kingpin, you mean?
Yeah, this Hawkeye Kingpin, I can hear "Curse you, Spider-Man."
I can also hear the destruction of the planet would be bad for business, which is my all-time favorite Kingpin quote.
Yeah.
Though, the bishop woman thinks she can quit her job as if she works for Goldman Sachs was pretty good.
Oh, that is a straight up comic book Kingpin line.
Mhm.
It's so good. And I'm not saying that Daredevil Netflix Kingpin was bad. No, it's just like there's a little bit of just the comic booky infusion of like
Yeah.
because the comic book Kingpin has to fucking deal with the fact that Iron Man and Thor are right outside his window on a regular basis. Well,
Hmm.
Netflix is like, oh, that happened once and we don't really see them often. This one's like, God damn it, Hero's been around for how long? We had an alien invasion? Fuck it. I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt today. Fuck you, I'm the Kingpin.
Yeah.
It's that kind of
Uh,
vibe.
hmm Uh, but I feel like that's enough Kingpin talk. We've gone on for him for I want to say close to 20 minutes now.
I have a question
Uh,
because you really enjoy the fraction run of Hawkeye.
yeah.
Do you feel Infraction worked on this? Do you feel like this is because the best way I can describe it because I haven't read it completely. I've read bits and pieces, issue or two. the way I can describe it is this wasn't trying to adapt so much what that comic was, but adapt what that comic was trying to do with Hawkeye for the MCU. Like, it
I
was
can
trying to
agree with
accomplish
that.
the
Yeah.
same goals, but the ingredients it has were different, so it had to be different.
hmm I can very much agree with that because having gone back and actually reread some of that run a few weeks ago, I gotta say it's a totally different feel. The comic feels so much more sort of irreverent and borderline nihilistic at times in its humor, whereas this is very much MCU. It's very grounded in the MCU, and as we've discussed a couple times, the dynamic between Clint and Kate is totally flipped from the comics. Clint is sort of an aging dipshit who kind of comes off like he never knew what he was doing in the comics. Whereas Kate is a young but free-spirited go-getter, knows what she wants out of life,
Hyper
will take
competent.
care. hmm And here it's very different, where Clint is the seasoned veteran who loves his family but doesn't really care for people outside of it. And Kate's kind of innocent, doesn't really know what she's doing, but gosh dang it, she really wants to get in there and make something of herself. Um,
Here's the way I can kind of internalize it in my brain. Comic Kate is the older sister to Camilla Khan. This Kate would
Mhm.
be her best friend.
Yeah, which is very interesting because it seems like and that happens in the comics too, but we're getting her and America Chavez introduced canonically before Miss Marvel, but they're going to be relatively the same age group because of the ages of their actresses. So it'll be interesting to see how they all play off of each other when, knock on wood, Young Avengers comes around.
Oh yeah, we're probably it might not be called Young Avengers. It might be called Champions.
Or it could be called Avengers the Children's Crusade. That's a thing they could do.
Ooh, that is true. That it. Fucking, we are setting up Bobby and Billy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we've already got Cassie waiting in the wings.
Oof, 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 oof. Ooh, and depending on what they do with the big old mutant word soon, because they gotta be thinking we gotta at least hint at what we are kind of wanting to do with mutants for
Oh
future
God, they go
projects.
straight for Mark Wade's champions, and Teenage Cyclops is on the team, but he's not time
Oh,
displaced. It's just regular Teenage Cyclops.
no. I don't even like Time Play Cyclops, but that one's better for some reason.
You know that had to have been floated in a boardroom
Oh
meeting.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I don't know.
But speaking of Clint and Kate, I feel like their development is capped off very well in this episode. There's maybe a few stumbles here and there, like I could have, like I get it, they were seeded and whatnot, but I could have done without the LARP group being involved in this episode. Some of their stuff felt a little too silly at times. Um, but I did like them, and I did like how they interplay with Clint and Kate and allow them to get the mission done. Um,
I
but
do
there's just
I
a
do like the thing that they did with their LARP costumes of basically they're not taking us seriously because we don't look like superheroes. Let's dress up and pretend we're superheroes to get them to take us seriously.
and like I like that. I see what they're doing thematically because that also comes a few scenes after Kate literally says to Clint, tell she just tells him about her backstory and is like, you showed me that you don't have to have superpowers to be a hero. You can fight aliens with a stick and some string. And that plays into what happens with the LARP group later. I just feel like it would have been a make or break moment for some other people in the audience, you know?
Yeah. Also, it does line up with the theme in the full LARP episode where the guy goes like, "This is the only time where I get to feel like I'm something," you know.
Yeah. Uh, I also feel like there's some okay, I have a thing with this episode. Somebody brought it up on Reddit and I rewatched the episode today and I couldn't help but not be thinking about it the whole time. There's a massive fucking plot hole with this whole episode, which is just that there's a huge, basically mob fight terrorist attack going on at Times Square, and you never see the local authorities show up.
Fucking A-cab. I don't know.
Yeah. Like they literally take down the Times Square Christmas tree at one point, and I'm
That's
like,
not Times Square.
Rockefeller Center, sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. But still, it's a major metropolitan area in New York, and you'd think there would be people going there. And of course, as everybody has made memes about, oh gosh, Spider-Man lives right next to that place, and he didn't do anything. Bitch, we don't know for sure. That was like a really chopped up sequence at the end of No Way Home.
Yeah. And also, that's what he probably could have been fucking running to in the No Way Home. You don't fucking know. I don't remember what the police scanner said.
Well, we don't see him in this episode, so obviously he didn't come.
Fucking people.
And the tree's still up at the end of No Way Home. There's just going to be videos about that for ages once No Way Home is available for streaming.
Yeah, yeah.
But
look, if we can understand that Galactus changes his pants like 3 times in his first appearance, you can fucking fudge this. Don't fucking concern yourself.
Sure.
Have you ever gone back to that first appearance of Galactus? Yeah, he has like 3 different pairs of pants. They don't ever explain it. It's just Jack went like, I don't like those pants. I'm changing them.
Mm-hmm.
LARPers are members, but they're the good members of the local authority. They're paramedics and firefighters.
Yes, they're members of the local authority, but they're not the exact local authority. Like you'd think the police would show up.
You think NYPD, yeah.
Once there's gunshots right next to Rockefeller Center.
You know what? What if they do that thing with like some of the NYPD of like, oh, there's a fucking thing. Wait, there's an Avenger there. Oh, the Avengers fucking got it. You don't need the NYPD.
Be great. You just need one scene of that, and really that resolves that whole plot hole. But
also it's also a cab because fuck the police.
Mm-hmm. Also, moving away from me being a nitpicky asshole, you know what I loved about this episode?
The Army of Bros.
The Army of Bros was great. I love that we called back to the bro who was having issues with his girlfriend.
Oh, he was fucking adorable. You know what he reminds me of? Remember the fucking blonde dude in Ratatouille? I killed the man with this thumb.
He does look like that guy. Holy shit. Oh, do No Way Home and Hawkeye take place on different years?
Not entirely sure. Oh yeah, Kingpin also does own the NYPD.
That's another explanation. But no, the thing I was referring to is I love that they just totally go, yeah, Swordsman was a red herring. He's not anything except a goofy rich guy who loves swords.
I hope to God we get like not necessarily season 2, but like a sequel series to this because they said this is a one and done.
Mm-hmm.
Of him leading the LARPers as swordsman in the full comic accurate goofy ass swordsman costume.
That would be great because there is that moment where the one lady mentions LARPing to him and he's like, is that a leisure activity?
Yeah.
I love that my man was straight framed for murder by the woman he was getting ready to marry, and who was going to be his stepdaughter comes up and goes, "Hey, sorry about all this," and he's like, "No, it's cool. I get to cut some motherfuckers with my sword today. This is great."
Yeah, he is the eccentric rich man that you go, you're a rich asshole, but you're a funny rich asshole.
Mm-hmm. He's a Tony Khan, not a Jeff Bezos.
Oh, don't say that. Some people see Tony Khan as Jeff Bezos now.
Oh boy. Well, that's a discussion we'll have on
Thursday.
Yeah.
But
so you called it. How do you feel about the Mockingbird reveal?
I am okay with it. Because here's the thing. If Black Widow can be a multiple person code name. So can Mockingbird. So like
Yeah.
so like whatever, you can do Mockingbird still, but I like it in this because it's like because the MCU has to give people endings to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
They can go like, all right, Steve gets to be happy with the one he loves. Here he goes. Tony gets to sacrifice himself and be the hero that he always meant to be. All right, here you go. Spider-Man does what Spider-Man does. Blah blah blah. You know, do all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff that you can't do in the comics because you have to keep going. So like with Hawkeye and Mockingbird in the comics, they're will they won't they?
They
They're
did get married for a number of
but then they
years.
get divorced. Like they're separated together. It's back and forth all the time. But in this, it's
Mhm.
just like no, they're married. They get to be married. Fuck you. They get to
Yeah.
stay married.
Here's an olive branch for the comic fans and a middle finger for the Agents of Shield fans.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the thing. Here's the best way I can put. I can tackle Agents of Shield in the nicest way possible. Kevin Feige wants as many toys in the toy box as possible,
Mhm.
and Agents of Shield took too many out.
And it was never really in his control was the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Um, like Agents of Shield. Okay, let's go on a mini little Agents of Shield discussion here
Mm-hmm.
slash Mockingbird because I'm okay with Clint's wife being retconned to be Mockingbird because as a casual Marvel fan, Mockingbird comes off to me as one of those characters that it's like unless you're a hardcore comic fan or like a hardcore Hawkeye fan specifically, you don't really care about Mockingbird. Like, yeah, she's kinda his Black Canary, but even I, as a DC fan, can go like, you don't know about Black Canary unless you start digging into DC. So I imagine Mockingbird's on a similar or even more obscure
Lower.
level.
She's
Yeah.
more like
So like,
if you were to look
yeah.
at right now, she's more like fire and ice.
Hmm.
Like if you know, you know, but if you don't, they're not gonna do anything with her anytime. Or Tigress, even though she's just been showing up in Moon Knight. That's not her
Yeah,
name.
so like it does suck that like well like as a comic book fan, it sucks you'll never see that actress in a comic book accurate Mockingbird costume. I understand. You'll never see that on screen, at least for now.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, who cares?
I mean, there's also the fact that they are setting up a lot of future generational things.
Mhm.
Nothing says that their daughter, who looks about 16, 15 years old in this TV show, couldn't take up the mantle of Mockingbird sometime in the future with the champions.
Or we couldn't have this actress come back if we bring in Nadia Van Dyne, because Mockingbird is like the combat trainer for the Agents of Girl in the comics.
Yeah.
Um, they could do that, but also like then to take it over to the Agents of Shield thing. I know Agents of Shield has a very vocal, diehard fan base,
Who still to
but
this
I
day say
sat
it's canon.
I sat through 2.5 seasons of that show. And like honestly, it never got me excited in the way and maybe that's because I was binging it post mortem, but like it never made me go like, oh, this is a cool connection to the MCU or this is a cool take on this character. Like I got to the point where their version of Mockingbird shows up, and she felt like just another made for TV character.
Mockingbird felt like we can't get Scarlett Johansson to be on the show, so we'll make our own ScarJo. Yeah, like Black Canary's more popular than Mockingbird. I will agree with that, Aki. Mockingbird's not known.
Hmm.
Like she's a step above Sleepwalker in that regard.
Yeah, I think she's had. I
Like she'll
can't
be
remember if Toy
used and
I know
known.
she has a Hasbro Marvel Legend in her modern-ish
Mhm.
costume, but I don't know if Toy Biz ever did her. And I'm pretty sure Hasbro is no, because people have asked for it in recent wishlist videos. Hasbro has not done her in her classic costume.
Here's the other thing I want to say about Agents of Shield and canon. It's just the second they introduced the Inhumans, They were no longer
Mhm.
canon. They were no longer canon. Like, because that was never a Kevin Feige directive. That was always like Perlmutter. It's just like, make the Inhumans a thing because we don't have mutants.
Ah.
You know? But the second Inhumans were introduced, it's like, it's not canon anymore.
Yeah, no, I was right. She's only got the one Marvel Legend. It's from the Onslaught wave.
Oh, yeah, that was a long wave, a long time ago.
Yeah, that was
That was also the wave with Wolf Cap, isn't it?
I think so.
I have Wolf Cap.
I'm shooting you images in the chat.
You gotta remember, I like the way I fucking show off your video. It's hard
I
to
know.
it's hard to fucking do this shit.
But I'm just showing you for reference.
True, true, true. Yeah, no, I think that is the wave with the Wolf Cap. Yeah, because I
Hmm.
remember having the Flacken. I have Wolf Cap, and I remember looking at stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, but in the meantime,
Yeah, Aki says I love Agents of Shield, but it's not canon, and I don't want it to be.
yeah, it's a thing. I I understand Robbie Reyes, cool, dope ass Ghost Rider. He's only cool as Ghost Rider after Johnny and Danny, because you need to understand that he's different than the normal Ghost Rider.
And I liked the idea of doing more stuff with Coulson, but they stretched out explaining what exactly they were doing with him so long, and it got so convoluted that I just gave up being interested.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool ideas, but again, it's too many toys out of the toy box too fast.
Hmm. It felt like a Joss Whedon show without any of the charm of a Joss Whedon show. And I say that knowing exactly how much of a scumbag Joss Whedon is in modern times.
But I can understand why people who love that show still want it to count. It does. It's its own show. Don't worry about it. The Arrow show did not have to be in the Zack Snyder movies to count, did it? No.
No. There's people who love the DC TV universe. I think they're weird, but there's those people. They're out there. Um, and they don't need it to be part of the DCEU, which we're still not even sure if that's a thing anymore or not, but god damn it, that's a fucking rabbit hole for another day. The point is, Agents of Shield is cool, but you know what it is? It's one of the side MCU universes from What If. We just got to take an extended look at it.
Yeah. But
What if Coulson came back from the dead? That's what we should rename that show. And just put little interstitials of Jeffrey Wright in every episode.
literally, you could just probably do that and it'd be accurate. But no, back to this. I love all the fight at the end. It was just like, yeah,
And perfect setup and payoff too, with that sequence towards the beginning of the episode, which felt very Home Alone, but in a fun way of them making all the trick arrows.
that was really good. Also, just like explaining how to do them to to Kate was just cute.
Mhm. The only one that like I had any objection towards is like I get it, it's played for laughs and it's kind of dark comedy, but it felt really weird to just randomly have like we've shrunk these two guys forever and now they're owl food. Fuck you.
Yeah, no,
Like that's something you do to Power Ranger grunts, not in a universe where they're actual individuals.
yeah, no, it was dark, and I was just like, oh, mm-mm.
Mhm. Uh, I did enjoy everything they did with Yelena. For as much as she felt shoved in when she first showed up, they did I would say somewhat satisfactorily pay off all the stuff with her.
Oh, the conversation with Clint and her just asking and demanding, why did you let her die? Why did you let her die? And him just going like, I didn't, and like trying to explain it and just letting her get out all of the anger was just like, yep, that's MCU right there.
And also like you as a viewer getting to put together through that scene like, oh, she blipped. Oh, The reason Nat fought to hold everything together for so long and then sacrificed herself was at least halfways for Yelena. Fuck. Like
Yeah.
that's a retcon, but that's a retcon that like really reinforces what a lot of people called a poor choice on Endgame's part.
Like, here's the thing. It was told in the wrong order, but with Black
Hmm.
Widow Endgame in this, it is a beautiful story.
Yeah.
It's in the
It's
wrong
it's
order. It happened too late, but it's good.
I would say it's one of the few places where watching the MCU in, well, not one of the few, one of the places where watching the MCU in proper chronological order does really help out. The only thing that sucks is that you then have Nat's grave at the end of Black Widow.
Yeah, but then that could be like fucking audi- audience irony of like, oh, we know she's gonna die, but how?
Hmm.
And you're just watching the entire movie and going like, what's gonna happen? How is she gonna die? And then
Yeah,
she
you
finally
know
gets to
what?
the.
You're right. It gives it what I like to call prequel suspense because
Mhm.
I hate it when people say there's no suspense in prequels because you know who's going to make it out and who isn't. The suspense isn't in who's going to make it out and who isn't. It's how do these characters get to where they are in the thing you already know.
Oh yeah, and then the whole scene where Thanos sacrifices Gamora
Mm.
sets off the that, and you go like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. She was sacrificing her love not just for Clint, but for her sister.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. That's the thing about the MCU. Something can be weak and they can make it better by just going like, no, 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 no. Here's some explanation.
Yeah, we can fix this. I also really love the elevator fight. Like it was borderline memey at times, but it was fun.
Oh yeah, like this is the most stylized choreography I think the MCU has had. And by
Hmm.
stylized, I don't mean like, oh, it's a specific style. Like Shang-Chi had very specific kung fu styles.
Hmm.
This is very stylized in that we are doing a big, bombastic, fun, goofy action flick in the same vein as like, you know what? I'm gonna put it out there. It was Scott Pilgrim esque.
I could see that. I was also thinking like this feels like a movie The Rock would make.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But
it's an action comedy with a little more emphasis on the comedy.
yeah, but overall, I think it's good vibes. I also love how Clint was just like, "No, you're my fucking daughter now. Your family
Hmm.
sucks. You're adopted. Come with me."
And everybody just immediately accepts her too, which maybe felt a little too hand wavy, but it's
Here's
fine.
the
It's
thing:
fine.
the Clint was talking to his wife the entire time, telling her about Kate. So she
Hmm.
knew Kate. She heard
Yeah.
about Kate. She was
It's
like,
more it's more so the kids I'm talking about there.
I imagine the mom told them like before they arrived. All right, so dad's coming home and he has a student he's bringing with him.
That um Oh, you know one thing, what before we wrap up, one massive nitpick about this episode I have.
Yeah.
There's a moment where Nathaniel, Clint's son, is opening Christmas presents and he goes, "Wow, I always wanted one of these." And it's a $5 Nerf gun.
Yeah.
I'm like, who who was directing this scene? I want their badge on my desk right
Oh no,
now.
that's not
Come
director.
on.
That's just miscommunication. That's a props person going like, we need a cool looking toy. Uh Clint fires arrows, something that fires a thing. This Nerf gun should work, and it's also well within budget.
Which is funny because it's like Nerf.
God damn it. Hold on. You there? What was
Mhm.
the last word I heard was Nerf.
Nerf makes toy bow and arrows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, no, you know what would have been really fun if you opened it up and it was a fucking it was Dart Pro. It was a fucking Dart Pro.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, Dart Pro is a another manufacturer of toy foam dart guns. But see, well, Nerf likes to keep everything nice and safe and very quality for kids. They only go about 60 feet per second.
Yeah, because they're Hasbro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They care about that kind of stuff.
Dart Pro goes about 120 feet per second.
Oh boy.
And they give you the short darts that are faster and sting harder and go straighter.
It's too bad there's not a Green Arrow figure on the shelves right now, or when this was being made. That would have been a hilarious cameo, wink nod kind of a thing.
Oh yeah. Remember, DC's canon to the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm. And vice versa. That should always be a thing, in my opinion. Like, I understand there's rights issues and whatnot, but in my opinion, it should always be a thing of, like, if you're in a fictional universe, then any other fictional universe is canon as a fictional universe within that one.
Well, I mean,
so, like,
literally, there is a multiverse in Marvel's list this is DC.
Mm-hmm.
The DC has multiple pocket universes within their Marvel multiverse.
I know you've explained this before.
But now, with Rebirth, and no, it's Infinite Frontier, where basically said everything's canon.
Uh-huh.
Access is canon in DC again. Because he wasn't canon for New 52, but now he's canon again.
Mm-hmm.
For people, Access is the character that both DC and Marvel own. He can transfer between universes.
Mm-hmm. But, like, the point I was making is, if I'm writing a Star Wars thing, my character should be able to be reading a He-Man comic.
Yeah, noted Tatooine material He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of anything else. The mom did pretty good. I know it's an agglomeration of, like, the dad and the sister in the comic.
Uh-huh.
But I don't mind it being the mom.
I don't mind it either. I like that the show didn't try and redeem her at the end. Like, she is straight up Karen Core. Oh, you're treating me like this, you're doing this to me, and it's like, yeah, because you did evil, illegal shit. You're going to jail. Bye.
But we had a debt we had to pay. Yeah?
So?
Like, yeah.
And it
you
kept
fucked around.
doing it after
now you're finding out.
You said it yourself to Wilson. You kept working for him after the debt was repaid.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Wilson's the kind of man, you pay her a debt, repay a debt. He's not gonna fuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
You did your job.
But then you kept working with him, and now
that's
you
when he
can't
fucks with you. When you work with him voluntarily, and then you fuck around, that's when Kingpin goes like, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
That was good. I like it. I like the epilogue. How do you feel about, because apparently this was massively controversial for a lot of people. How do you feel about the end credit scene just being the musical?
It was good. Like, this isn't anything that's going to connect to any upcoming Marvel project. What the fuck's going to happen at the end of Hawkeye? Doctor Strange comes in and goes like, hey, Hawkeye, we're going on a giant multiversal travel thing with Wanda, with magic and things that bend your understanding of reality. You want to come? Like, no.
Were you expecting Kate to meet America Chavez here? What?
Like, the only thing I can say I could, like, say, like, oh, maybe you could have done, maybe, is have fucking Tom Holland show up and go, like, hey, I'm Spider-Man. Everything okay? You're late. Oh, no. I'm gonna miss my class at Empire State.
Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't watch the musical because I was just like, I'm not gonna enjoy that. I scrubbed through, saw what it was, and I was like, oh, I don't want to watch that. But, like, I wasn't mad that that's what that was.
No. It's a fun goof. It's a fun goof bit.
Mm-hmm. Overall, though, I think Hawkeye went pretty well as a show. It wasn't what I was expecting exactly as a diehard fan of the comic, but it was a decent show.
Yep, I can't wait to see the characters come back. I can't wait to see Echo come back. Just don't
Do you
give her
think
the
we'll
fucking
see Clint again after this?
Do what?
Do you think we'll see Clint again after this?
In an Avengers thing. He won't show up as a cameo and stuff or a side character, But the next time they do an Avengers, not a Young Avengers, like a full on, everybody's here, Avengers, we are facing the end of the world, Clint will show up and go like, I guess you need to fucking go with the bow and arrow again.
Hmm. He'll show up to fight Kang.
Yeah. Kang or whatever the next Avenger kind of threat will be, because they're not going to do Kang immediately. They're Thanosing Kang.
No. They're Thanosing Kang. We're gonna get a couple movies, a couple Avengers level movies leading up to Kang. And then I think the next Thanos level thing after Kang is gonna be Galactus.
Maybe Galactus. Maybe Doom.
I feel like you want to have Doom either be in a couple of FF movies or in an Avengers movie.
Yeah. You know what would be a fun get for fucking an Avengers movie?
What?
Graviton.
Hell yeah. Oh, Aki, Ralph Boner should totally fight Galactus. I'd be down for that. Let's go. Oh, dude. Because they had him, they had Wong looking at the rings. What if Fing Fang Foom is the next Avengers villain?
Ooh, yeah, he could be a solo Avengers movie guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like how they set up the first phase one with just Loki. Like Fing Fang Foom's Loki. Yeah.
Shang-Chi's the new, or I'm sorry, Shang-Chi is the new four. Let's go.
Shang-Chi, hell yeah. I mean, he is also himbo energy.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of himbo energy, that's exactly the kind of thing I would prescribe to swordsman after having watched this show.
Oh yeah, no, he's fucking. I want him to show up again as just like a. He's in Avengers Mansion or whatever, and they're going like, "Who's this guy?" I am Swordsman, and Kate just goes like, "Jack, no, you're not a superhero."
I'm sorry, I'll never get over how we spent the whole show going, he's sus, he's sus, he's sus. And no, he's and he just comes out at the last episode and is like, I like swords. They're neat.
What if he becomes the Avengers Jarvis? Not like as a butler, but he's just the human that's at the mansion, just hanging out.
That'd be so great.
And all of them are just like, you know what? We don't want to kick you out because you're like nice and you're fun to hang out with, but you're not an Avenger.
Aki makes a good point in the chat. Shang-Chi is half from Talo, and Talo is Chinese god, place like Asgard. So
Yeah, I assessed. Remember, in Marvel canon continuity kind of stuff, every religion's real. Every religion's real. Every religion's real.
Oh, it's the same thing in DC, and the gods regularly have fights about who actually created the world.
But I mean everybody. I also mean like the Christian God. Like he's technically canon. He's real. And the Marvel Comics.
Same thing in DC, except it's a lot more fudgy-wudgy.
Yeah, with DC, it's always... That's a weird thing. To not necessarily, like, say it's, like, definitively this way for Marvel and DC, but for Marvel, it always feels like they like to play with the polytheistic worlds and kind of just ignore the Christianity, Judaism, Muslim stuff. And DC, it feels like they love to play with the demonology of, like, Christian belief. And that's probably just mostly because of Constantine.
I feel like there is a one above all in DC, and it's also the Christian God. And it's just what you know how sometimes you'll see people go into the beginning of time and there's the hand with the universe floating in it. That's what I've always interpreted as their one above all Christian God kind of thing.
That was a major plot point in JLA Avengers.
They've played with it a whole bunch. There's several different explanations now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like if you talk about like gods and stuff in DC, you're talking like Lucifer and Sandman and those guys and all that kind of stuff. When you're talking,
but then Wonder Woman has two different ancient god hierarchies attached to her.
Yeah. But in like Marvel is just like, oh yeah, Hercules is here and he's a bi icon.
Yep. All right. Well, we have. I'm sorry, I'm not the host.
No, you're not. Fuck you. But also,
I
thank
don't
you
know.
for trying to get us to the next thing. But we got some toys to talk about.
We've got a lot of toys to talk about because even
Uh,
though it was Christmas/New Year's week, that doesn't mean Todd or several Japanese companies took any kind of break.
yeah. DC has presence who isn't comparable to one above all. DC's more Neil Gaiman stuff. Yeah, but Neil Gaiman also, like, for the DC stuff, he took a lot from, like, his own made up mythology with the Sandman death. What are they called?
There's also
Dream,
the fact that the
Dream,
ending of.
Delirium, Death.
Mhm. But there's also just the fact that the ending of Morrison's Animal Man kind of takes a shit all over the concept of gods within that universe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Alan Moore, Grant Morrison, Neil Gaiman, they made the Cosmo. And Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby, don't forget the
They
fourth
made
wall.
them. Kirby made the classic understanding. They made the modern understanding, and I feel like we're still waiting for somebody to have the balls to sort of make a new version of it.
And Marvel
Snyder
always had
tried with the Dark Multiverse, but I don't
Endless.
think it.
Thank you, Aki. They are called the Endless.
Yeah. Snyder tried with the Dark Multiverse, but I feel like it's going to take another decade before we're sure about the after effects of that.
In Marvel's never had people who were afraid of messing with cosmology and their stuff. So it's always
Mhm.
been weird and evolving.
Yeah.
Cause like,
That's another like fundamental difference between Marvel and DC, in my opinion, is like DC tends to be really precious about certain things, except and like every like 50 years they'll change that thing majorly or allow it to shift. Whereas Marvel is constantly going like, but what if we put this over here and this over here? What would this do? Huh? How's this going? Whoa, 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 wait, wait, wow, wow.
yeah, that's why whenever anybody says like, oh, I just want Spider-Man. I just want Spider-Man to be Spider-Man. I'm going like, which fucking Spider-Man are you talking about? There's been like 15 different versions of Peter Parker's status quo, not to
Odds
mention
are it's either
Miles,
the movie
Gwen.
cart odds are they're talking about the movie, cartoon, or video game they grew up watching.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
Like my Spider-Man is very much rooted in the Raimi movies and the 90s cartoon.
mm-hmm.
But I'm also one of those fans that is willing to take in different interpretations and do different things, which is why I'm enjoying Beyond so much right now.
I have a question for you.
Hmm.
Who do you think has more legacy characters at this point, DC or Marvel? And by legacy, I don't mean just like take on the mantle, but like also be influenced, inspired, take on ideas and power sets. Like Nadia is to Wasp, even though she might not be Wasp in name. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
I feel like they're about even these days, but then again, like doing this show, I discover a new set of Marvel and or DC characters every couple weeks.
Right.
So,
Yeah, but that's what part of Vac is saying, Aki, is like DC is so precious with their things that they're afraid to touch them.
the DC mentality is often, oh, I want to play with this thing that Jack or somebody else created. The Marvel methodology is like, yo, that thing that Stan came up with is cool, but what if we did this with it?
Yo, Stan made Spider-Man. That's cool. Yo, fucking edgy '90s clone.
Yo, Todd made Venom, that's cool, but what if we made Venom a whole fucking thing?
Yo, you heard of fucking Punisher. What if Punisher was Ghost Rider? And not just fucking Ghost Rider. What if he was also Silver Surfer?
Mhm.
What if he was all of that together?
Meanwhile, people at DC are like, hey, do you remember the Justice League International? Let's do a thing about them. I want Batman to be wearing the suit I remember him wearing when I grew up. Can we do that? Okay.
Like, to quote one of our, I wouldn't say, one of our favorite YouTube channels, Comic Pop, they did
Hmm.
a video on Brian Michael Bendis's Batman Universe, I think it was called.
Yeah. Hmm.
In the beginning, Sal, the host of the show, basically described Brian Michael Bendis in DC as when he went to Marvel, he kicked over the bird bath and was like, fuck all this shit, and pissed over everything. Just fuck with everything. Just what? The Avengers are boring. Put Spider-Man on the team. Does it make sense? No. Put Spider-Man on the team. Fuck it. He comes to DC and he's like, I want to write Batman, but like he's too important to me. I can't write Batman. I'll fuck up. I'll write Superman and fuck him up instead.
Yeah. I still remember about 2 weeks before the first issue of any of Bendis' Superman had come out, he retweeted, I forget what the original tweet was, but he did a quote retweet on somebody, and he said, look, I love Superman just as much as the next guy, but I just spent 2 hours coming up with all kinds of ways to put him through hell.
Yeah. And here's the thing. He already wrote his fucking Superman. It's called Sentry and New Avengers. Hey, it's the Busto.
Busto.
We are lament. Are we? Question: are we complaining about DC's lack of a flexible cosmology? What are we doing here?
I'm not complaining. I'm just comparing and contrasting because I find it interesting. Excuse me.
That's another thing. DC's big godly figures are very regimented. If you look at like the Living Tribunal, like all the big abstract people, Eternity, fucking Anthropomorpho, all this kind of stuff, they're fucking weird.
We're between topics at the moment, Buster. We're just freeballing here.
Yeah, just kind of comparing Marvel DC notes.
But yeah, no, Marvel's like absolute hierarchy is a lot of original concepts and a lot of out there kind of stuff. Whereas DC is very much, no, we have this guy, but he's real. We have this ancient mythological character, but he's real. Here, look, it's Ares. Wonder Woman punches Ares in the face. Isn't that cool?
Or like the Endless, which are very specific and regimented, and like they're a family. They have specific roles, and it's like, and then you have the Living Tribunal goes, bitch, fucking magic, cool. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just like, yo, fucking magic balance. I don't give a. Do you need me to fight someone? I'll fight someone every once in a while. Like, Marvel's gods are willing to throw the fuck down. But we should probably talk about some toy news.
Yeah.
And speaking of Marvel gods, we should probably talk about the ones that are going to be upcoming gods. We got an X Factor toy of Cyclops from MAFEX, just some new photos.
Yeah, we've got the official solicitations for this now. We saw it at a show in Japan a few weeks ago, or months ago, excuse me. And it looks pretty good. However, we were speculating back then, and yeah, he doesn't have the condom hood.
He has
a downed hood accessory, but it's not the full-on condom hood, because this is apparently from a different era of X Factor than the original era we all thought this was based on.
Yeah, he has a head sock. I'm trying to think. Thor would help you move a couch. The Beyonder would help you move a couch, but he'd have to be pressured into it because he'll go like, I shall not interfere. And you go like, bro, I have pizza. And you'll go like, fuck, I'll handle some pizza, bro. Like, you can make fun of the Watcher for always saying, I will not interfere. Uatu fucking interferes all the time. He's a pro. He's fucking dope.
Yeah.
But no, I like this Cyclops figure.
I've never cared for this costume design, but I think it looks like a very solid figure of the costume design.
I do think the effect parts are what make it for me, though. Like, those glasses are peak.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, real good, real solid, real nice.
Hmm.
Next, we have Zack Snyder's Justice League, some MAFEX toys of Superman.
Yeah, because MAFEX solicitations always comes in two, no more, no less, much like the Sith. And yeah, this is definitely one that I'm like. This is both of these are ones I'm going to skip, but this one for obvious reasons. I don't do movie stuff. I don't care for the DCEU. And also, this is apparently based off of a very old mold from back in the beginnings of Mafex. Their Batman v Superman. Superman is the
Hmm.
same mold as this. And for those of you who know your toys, you know Mafex is a line that had a lot of growing pains. So any molds like pre-Gwenpool, you kind of want to steer clear of those.
Yeah. I will say, yeah, Buster's right. It looks good, but it's just it's not something I want. If you want the figure, yeah, sure, it looks good, but like, I don't know a ton
Yeah.
of people who really, really latched onto this design of Superman.
Mm.
Um, yeah. What's this? Marvel Select Black Suit Spider-Man. Uh, Disney exclusive.
Yeah. This is just hilarious to me because this solicitation went up the day after No Way Home came out, which is like exactly the worst time to put this suit up for pre-order because so many people went like, "Oh, the black and gold costume is absolutely nothing," after speculating on it endlessly. And this is another highly inaccurate looking figure of it.
Yeah, it's funny. It's a fun,
Mhm.
like it's a good toy. It looks good, but still.
Like there was another thing that happened this week that I didn't have I couldn't find an article for, but apparently pre-orders dropped like stones for the SH figure arts of the black and gold costume. And so they put up a first come first serve quote unquote pre-order bonus for it that would be the portal effect, the Doctor Strange portal effect, but it's just a plastic cutout with the effect printed on it.
Yeah, yeah. I have a feeling toy manufacturers are not pleased with Sony and Disney after that
I
reveal in the movie.
Yeah, because you know they just showed them like free pieces of concept art. Like here's the black and gold suit, here's the integrated suit, here's Doctor Strange in the movie. Make figures of that. Can we make is J. Jonah Jameson going to be in the movie? Can we make a figure of him finally? Yeah, sure, him too. And that's it.
Yeah. I mean, to an
Now
extent, like
that-
they're trying to
But
keep
now that
things under wraps, but like,
No Way Home is just this microcosm of like wow, Disney and Kevin Feige are trying a little too hard to keep secrets.
yeah. For this, I can understand a little bit, but like they needed to wink and nod a little bit more, like CM Punk things.
Mhm. But now that the movie is out and the demand has been so insane on r/Marvel Legends, I would not be surprised if we get a whole second wave of No Way Home Marvel Legends and possibly also some SH figure arts.
Yeah, of the characters that showed up.
Hmm. We say as if everybody watching this hasn't already seen No Way Home.
I have a Jameson figure, but it's the old Marvel Legends Jameson figure
Yeah, you
Buster.
have the one that comes with the desk, right?
No, I have the one that comes with the chameleon head and a hammer head.
Oh yeah, you have that one. I have that one as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good figure. I like it. It's a good Jameson. It's a good version of all three of the guys.
Yeah. Um, we've now gotten two Jamesons since then because we have the retro card
Mm.
Jameson, which is more meant to look like him in the animated series, which I have as well. And then we have the one that just came out for No Way Home of J.K. Simmons.
Yep. Shame is also not like Raimi JK, but
Mhm.
Jamesons are good Jamesons.
Yeah.
I do. I hope beyond hope that if JK comes back as uh Alex Jones Jameson, that they give him a redemption arc. Because Jameson's always
That'd
the
be
best
great.
when he's like a jackass with a heart of gold that always means well. You know what I mean?
The next trilogy at some point they just straight up adapt that Spencer issue.
Oh, we can give Spencer a lot of shit, but that issue though,
That issue.
I have no issues with that issue. But on to the next toy. We have a wave of DC Multiverse, which I okay.
Yeah.
Endless Winter.
Todd's doing a full endless winter wave, which is hilarious because we got that Aquaman teased a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I've never heard of endless winter before, but okay, this looks like a fine Aquaman. And then 2 days after we did that show, Comic Pop did their episode on endless winter. And then Christmas Day, Todd drops this photo, and I'm like, okay, apparently endless winter is a thing.
Yeah, that does not look like a DC character. That looks like a WoW character.
It looks like a WoW character. It also looks like a modern 4 villain.
They tend to lean a little bit more on Jackie with Modern Thor.
hmm I also hope we get a better look at these soon because I really want to know if that's just like photoshopping around the legs on John Stewart, Green Lantern, and Black Adam, or if they're gonna have like snow painted onto their boots. Because otherwise, those look like good standalone figures.
Yeah. That's all the photos we got of these guys.
Yeah, just one teaser pic dropped on Christmas Day, and it looks like a solid wave.
Yeah. I do like the comparison of like that was DC's Monsters Unleashed.
Hmm.
Like I will still say Monsters Unleashed is a damn good Marvel event. Like it should not be slept on. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, but the next figures we have are Sentinel Fighting Armor, Captain America, and Black Panther. These do. I'm trying to. These do look like fucking the Tech on armors.
Yeah, that's I think that's what this Tech-On I think ties into this
Yeah,
line.
yeah, yeah.
I can't remember if it's this because it's weird. They announced this and another line that's like this at the same time, and I can't remember if this is Tech-On or Tech-On is a toy line that the comic is promoting.
Right. Either way, these are looking nice and cool.
hmm It's one of those things where like I keep looking at these and going, "That's cool." I would never have a need for it in my collection.
Oh yeah, these are definitely for people who just like Marvel things and just want cool looking Marvel stuff.
Or people who are just hardcore Iron Man collectors.
Yeah. But Black Panther looks cool. Cap looks
I,
cool. They
I like how Black Panther almost just looks like a regular Black Panther figure.
yeah. You know what he looks like? He looks like an SIC Black Panther.
Yeah.
Like he's dope looking. Yeah, no, they both look sick. Cap looks. There's an unfortunate thing that there is already a Captain America looking Iron Man armor called Iron
hmm
Patriot. So anytime you do a suit like this, it looks like
You
fucking
know what
Iron
this looks
Patriot.
You know what this looks like?
What?
This looks like if Dan Mora went on Twitter and was like, "Yo, here's what Captain America would look like if he was a Power Ranger."
Oof, oof.
You know I'm right. Buster knows I'm right. Come on, Buster.
Man. Know what? I hate to put it this way. This one picture makes me go, that's not Steve in the costume. That's John Walker.
I could see it.
I don't know why. This picture just gives me John Walker vibes. Yeah, no, the figures look cool. Like if I had all the money, I
Yeah, no,
would.
Dan Mora is neat. That's the thing he would do because he
Yeah,
did that with Batman characters.
yeah. But here's the thing: Batman could easily turn into like the Tatsunoko Gotcha Man stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, but you know what's hot?
What?
Hot toys. We got fucking Eternals, Athena.
Oh, look, it's Angelina Jolie.
It's Angelina Jolie. I mean,
And they're using a seamless body for the sleeves and legs, it looks like. Either that or it's a different material than I've seen before.
yeah, but it's Thena. That's certainly Thena.
Yeah, it's a surprisingly good likeness because I would expect Angelina Jolie to be significantly more expensive than the rest of the cast. But then again, I've also read recently that a lot of Marvel projects and whatnot, you sign away your likeness when you sign on for one of those movies.
Yeah, I imagine it's likeness in regards to some things. Like you still own your like a lot of your likeness, but
Mhm.
it's an automatic license to your likeness.
Yeah. No, that's Super 7 Buster. Hot Toys, they make like a they do like a regular production run, but they're also just super expensive because of how big they are and how high quality the material is and how close the likeness is.
Yeah, these are very detailed figures.
Mhm.
Like I don't want them just because they're that detailed. Because it's just like no, I want to pose
Like
them and mess with them. I don't want to put gloves on to do it either.
like these are you put on gloves, you play around with them for like an hour, hour and a half, pick the pose you want, and then you put them in a china cabinet.
Yeah, like it's neat, it's cool, I dig it. But if I had to get a Hot Toys, I'm getting fucking Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future.
Yeah, like I would only ever buy one Hot Toys, and even then, I'm not sure what it would be. It would have to be one specific thing I really like.
Yeah, it'd be a thing. It wouldn't just be collecting Hot Toys.
Mhm. There are Hot Toys collectors out there, and I salute them and their bottomless income, but
Yeah, no,
I'm not
I have
ever going to be
no
one of
complaints
them.
of Hot Toys. I think they have a valued place in toy collecting. There's a reason for them to exist. It's just how much demand there is for Eternals merch.
I don't think demand is really a thing that's being factored in at this point because of the toy development cycle. Like they've probably been working on this figure for upwards of a year already.
And we never know what the future holds.
Like it's weird. Eternals, the reaction to it, like I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but the reaction to Eternals has been very 50-50. There's a lot of people who think it sucks, and there's a lot of people who really liked it. Whereas I think Boingo and I are pretty in the middle.
I enjoyed it, but I also go like, yo, I would have liked to see some more wacky stuff.
hmm I was like, that was good, but it wasn't as hype as I wanted it to be, and I think it wasn't as hype as a lot of people were expecting it to be.
True, 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 true. But you know what's fucking hype? You know what's always fucking hype? Amazing Yamaguchi, and guess what they have? Fucking New 52 Superman.
This is hilarious to me, honestly, because Amazing Yamaguchi is already a niche within a niche of figure design. But now they're tackling New 52 Superman, a design that like yes, did recently have an anniversary, but is also kind of irrelevant as fuck these days.
But here's the thing. The toy looks amazing. I love Amazing Yamaguchi stuff.
It works for the suit design because remember New 52 Superman is the design everybody complained about because like why does Superman need armor? But it works with Amazing Yamaguchi because he's supposed to be armored up. The only thing that like I would have reservations on if I was going to buy this figure, which I'm not because it's a character and it's a design I don't care for and I'm not into this kind of figure, but the cape. Yamaguchi capes are super pain in the ass to pose because they are usually 2 to 4 just panels of plastic that just float around on Rebel Tech joints.
That's why I think the best Amazing Yamaguchi figures have been Spider-Man and Deadpool.
Why does Superman look shiny? Because he's wearing his Kryptonian battle armor that he had in the New 52.
Because, like, yeah, the heads look like a lot of this looks really good. It looks super anime, super fucking dynamic. That's why I love Yamaguchi stuff. But, like, hold
hmm
on. Let me.
Because because Buster, don't forget, the New 52 is when Jim Lee said, "Yo, everybody needs to look like they have battle armor and that they're wearing a V-neck.
Yeah.
Everybody has V-necks, even if they don't have a neck that comes up. I'm gonna give Wonder Woman a choker that's a V-neck."
Also, everybody's sleeves goes down to their hand and comes out as, like, a V. Like, there's where the sleeve ends.
Mhm.
Covers the
Like
wrist.
more than anything with the because there's so much you can complain about when it comes to the New 52, but more than anything with the New 52, that's what bothers me is that everybody looks like they had the same costume designer.
Yeah. You mean the complaint everybody has about the MCU?
Mm.
But no, like just to show like Amazing Yamaguchi just being really cool. This is their Deadpool figure, and just look how dynamic you can get some of these poses.
Yeah, that's the thing about Amazing Yamaguchi. It's very much an acquired taste because like it's meant to look dynamic. If you try and put it in a still standing or casual pose, it looks awkward because it's not designed to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, that's when you get like a Marvel Legends, like oh fucking X Force version.
Mhm.
Oh. But like, look at that! That's just so dope. But like, yeah, no, I fuck with Amazing Yamaguchi. Like, if I had to get a Superman figure, only one, I'd probably get this one. Even though it's New 52, and I'm not the biggest fan of that suit. That pose. That Superman-ass pose. Like, it's so good.
Fair enough. I mean, like it's very much not my cup of tea, but if it's getting you excited, that's fair. That's
It's
valid.
like this. This is just like that super dynamic, fun. I like it. I love super dynamic stuff.
Mhm.
Like, right now, yeah, sure, all my figures are, like, a lot of my figures are just in, like, a neutral A pose. Except, like, Ray Phoenix here, who is just, like, Shawn Michaeling it up on his knees,
Mhm.
just going, like, look at me. But, like, I like fucking posing my guys dynamically. For the longest time, I had my, Spider-Man figure doing, like, a JoJo pose.
Hmm.
Are they still Reveltech? Is that still the company they're called?
Yeah, it's I believe it's Good Smile Company makes the Rebel Tech line, and Amazing Yamaguchi is a subline that's like a soft reboot of Rebel Tech they've been operating under for I want to say 5 or 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reason it's called Amazing Yamaguchi is it's based off of a specific artist called Yamaguchi, who is now just work for hire at Rebel Tech, the Rebel Tech team.
Mm-hmm. And it used to be called Reveltech because it was more based around the joint technology, and it was a lot of
Mhm.
mecha design.
Well, and they also did a lot of film licenses too. Like I remember when the Toy Story Rebel Techs were coming out, or
You know, everybody
they had
knows.
a lot of this. Go ahead.
Everybody remembers the Woody Reveltech.
Yeah, they had a lot of Disney licenses. Like they did. I remember they're actually midpoint in terms of imports, Buster.
Yeah. Remember, imports can get up to like $500 for a figure. Uh-oh. Vac has to listen to someone talk. And not me. But no, I didn't Amazing Yamaguchi do a Wolverine? I want to look that up real quick.
Yeah, they did. I know for a fact they did.
Well, then we're gonna fucking look at it. Oh, okay. Fuck. No, this. I need money because I fuck with this toy line so fucking hard. That's fucking Berserker Barrage right there. Fuck, man. How can you not fucking love Wolverine when he looks like this?
We'll see what happens. We've still got a crap ton of toys to get through, Buster.
Yeah. Let's get back to the toys and stop sidetracking.
Mhm.
So, real quick, we have a DC Multiverse figure that's announced. Do we need to say anything else about it?
This, see, the thing is, like, this was the cringiest reveal of last week. It's not the cringiest reveal of this week because Todd can get worse, but like, good God,
It's
Todd
Titan Joker from Batman Arkham Asylum.
Todd made a figure of the worst part of a video game that is barely relevant these days, and it's not even like oh, there's never been a figure of this before, so still on that crusade. There's a DC Direct made a figure of this back when the game was new.
Yeah.
So like there's no reason to do this. This is ugh.
But on to other stuff. This one is actually a nice get, I would say, for a DC multiverse figure. Clayface.
Yeah, it's not exactly my mind's eye of Clayface, but I do dig this. I like that Todd like it's specifically meant to be Rebirth Clayface, but the great thing about Clayface is you can kind of fudge any Clayface unless it's a weird, wacky alternate universe version with certain character elements to it. But most eras of Clayface, you can fudge into any kind of evergreen display, and this is no different. Like, I know some people weren't a big fan of the gaping maw he has, but Todd posted a picture on Twitter earlier today showing that the mouth can close. So I'm down with this. Uh, like I think I already said, but it's not my mind's eye of Clayface. I picture Clayface being a little more smooth, a little less bubbly, chunky, but it works. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, see, I imagine Clayface as in the animated series.
Hmm.
The Batman animated series.
Close to that, I really dug the Build-A-Figure Mattel did towards the end of their reign, where it was also based off of the Rebirth run, but it was an earlier version of Rebirth where he was closer to animated series, but he had like these rings to him.
But we do have a listing for a new multiverse wave, which is Blackest Night.
Yeah, we kind of knew this was coming via rumors and whatnot, but we actually have listings in the Walmart systems now for this wave, which is somewhat exciting. Like it's weird because like obviously there's the DC Direct Blackest Night toy line that went for many, many waves back when Blackest Night was in its heyday, but like this is kind of cool. It's Todd doing a throwback to something that's not quite classic but isn't brand new. It's very much in the middle, and it's showing this line is willing to expand out and go to different places, which is exciting to me as somebody who's been fence sitting on this line for that reason of like it seems so stringent to current stuff.
The big thing, though, is like, do I have a big point? I don't think I have a big point. I don't know. Looks neat.
Yeah.
I don't like that Kyle Rayner. He doesn't have the bright Green Lantern logo.
That's what he looked like at that point in the comics.
But it's not the right Green Lantern logo. He has a neat Green Lantern logo. Do you think this had taken so long to do something like that is because it's related to Jeff Jones and the kind of falling out they've had? Because a lot of those events are written by Jeff Jones.
Johns.
Johns, fuck it.
Might be, but like also I feel like that's a separate licensing thing. I wonder if it's just like Todd has a wish list and he has to balance that against what the fans are asking for.
And I'm guessing this next figure is from the new movie, The Batman. It's Hobo Batman.
Rifter Bruce Wayne is what this is specifically called, and this is the cringiest reveal of the week because good God, this figure looks terrible. First of all, look at that baggy ass torso that's not going to be able to articulate at all. Second of all, the head sculpt, that is a terrible Robert Pattinson likeness. Like, and there's no excuse for it in terms of like, oh, this is a new line. They don't have face scanning technology that we always try and say with this line. You can go back to before face scanning was even a thing. There are Twilight figures of Robert Pattinson's character from those movies that look leagues better than this. And those came out upwards of 15 years ago now. And to top it all off, he's got the side-eye thing that a lot of the recent reveals have had. I don't know what Todd's obsession with giving the figure side-eye is, but it's really stupid because it limits the posability on them.
This feels like a McFarlane Toys toy from 10 years ago when their only real
Yeah.
license was Walking Dead.
Yeah. It's not great. It looks so terrible, and I don't often make this kind of claim, but I would not be surprised if this is a peg warmer come summer of this year.
Yeah. But the next toy we have is some announcements of some Black Adam toys.
Yeah, we again, listings were found in the Walmart system this week of stuff that could potentially be spoilers for the Black Adam movie, but we have several figures for DC Multiverse listed within the system, which is Black Adam Ancient Costume, Black Adam Hero Costume, Atom Smasher Mega Fig, Doctor Fate, Cyclone, Hawkman, and Sabak Mega Fig.
Sabac's the evil demony one, right?
If I remember correctly, let me Google him real quick. Yeah, he's a big demon boy. He's literally got a pentagram on his chest.
He's the one that Shazam and Superman fought in that co-book, right? Where at the
Yeah,
end
in
Clark goes up to the dude who gave him the powers and was like, "How the fuck can you do that to a kid? Fuck you."
we have not seen a proper trailer. We got a video with a little bit of footage and a lot of actor interviews at DC Fandom a couple months ago, Buster.
Yeah.
Um,
I still don't know why they're doing this because this, to me, from what I know of Black Adam, this is like making a Doctor Doom movie.
they're making it because they got Dwayne Johnson, and Dwayne Johnson has to be the main feature if you're gonna do him. Like from what I understand, he's still getting a movie where he's a bad guy for Shazam. Like the first Shazam movie is going to be Shazam versus Black Adam, but this movie is apparently supposed to be like an Anakin Skywalker type fall for grace, which is Black Adam's backstory, but it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it
Yeah.
because they've got The Rock, and The Rock is such a likable Hollywood movie man right now.
Again, that still just leads me to like it's like Doctor Doom because Doctor Doom did all the things he did to save his mama.
Mhm. But they're also roping in all these Justice Society characters for that reason. Like Atom Smasher and Doctor Fate are going to be in this, and probably going to have very limited interactivity, especially considering Doctor Fate is being played by is it I'm trying to remember his name. He's one of the more recent James Bonds.
Not
Pierce
Daniel Craig.
Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan? Okay.
Yeah. Who is a great pick for Doctor Fate, but he's also a little old to be playing Doctor Fate for several movies. So
True.
I feel like he's only going to be in the flashbacks where we'll see the ancient costume for Black Adam.
And the last choice we have is a new classic Spawn figure from Toddy McFarley.
Mm-hmm. Todd celebrated the new year by posting this image and saying that the new year, the future looks bright for Spawn. And it's very interesting because this is the body for the Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn figure that everybody went so crazy for back in 2020. But it's got a new color piece. And the colors are a little brighter. And it's standing on a diorama piece that came with a DC Multiverse figure. So in all likelihood, we might be getting a re-release of that body as a classic comic Spawn in the Spawn multiverse or Spawn universe line that kicked off this past fall
Yeah.
with Violator and Redeemer and all that, which is exciting because that line has yet to have a proper regular Spawn in it, and there's plenty of people like me who are like, I don't want to collect a bunch of Spawn figures, but I would buy just a classic looking Spawn. And
Yeah. I don't know. He looks cool.
yeah,
That's about it.
Yeah.
That's
That
all
is
the
the toy news for this week.
that is the toy news this week. So you know what that means. We're gonna fucking talk about the comics we read. Let's see.
And it's already past midnight. Jesus Christ.
26 minus 23. We'll try and be quick about it.
Mhm.
Okay. So first things first. Hey, tell me about Catwoman Lonely City.
All right, Catwoman Lonely City, chapter or book two, excuse me, by Cliff Chang on everything. I really enjoyed this issue on basically the same level I did the first issue. If you haven't watched that, if you haven't watched us discuss that first issue, which was a couple months ago now, because this is just releasing when it's ready. Uh, Cliff Chang is basically doing what if the Dark Knight Returns, but it's about Selina. It's taking place in a not too distant future of the DC universe, mainly concerning the Batman Rogues Gallery, where Batman, Robin, and Alfred have died. Harvey Dent. Also, we get confirmed in this issue. Yes, Joker and Harley are dead in this future
Hmm.
because we actually get to see a little bit of Fool's Night at the very start. There's a flashback to 10 years ago, where we see it was basically a mass mob event where people put on Joker masks and just started shooting people randomly. It was a huge event like that around DC, around the Gotham area. Um, and The Two-Face is now reformed and mayor of Gotham City, and he's turned it into a semi-totalitarian state where vigilantes and masked-themed criminals are all outlawed. And Barbara Gordon is trying to oppose him in the current race for mayor. And this issue concerns that a whole bunch where basically Catwoman is trying to set up her operation, get back into the swing of things of being a criminal after having been released from prison, and sort of reestablishing connections with old contacts. Well, Barbara Gordon is also trying to back her without backing her because mass vigilantes are, of course, outlawed. And there's a lot of cool interplay and stuff like that. A lot of neat, like just playing with what the future of the DC universe would be like and what these characters would be like if they were in their mid 40s to late 50s. Like there's a great scene in this where Catwoman goes to meet with or just Selina now. She goes to meet with Edward Nigma at a hotel, and we find out that he is now making a living making things like escape rooms and whatnot, and he's really trying to get his life back on the straight and narrow because he had gotten addicted to cocaine, and that was why he was so manic and crazy back in the day when he was the Riddler. But he's got a daughter now, and he's trying to take care of her and do right by her. And her daughter is actually a big fan of Catwoman, so they team up and join Catwoman for her new heists that she's doing and stuff like that. And the daughter is very interested in getting trained by Catwoman. While at the same time, you've got this really cool kind of social commentary stuff of people trying to take back the city from Mayor Dent. There's a great page that actually went semi-viral where people are talking about like fighting back against the government and how it's trying to force poor families of specific minorities out of low income housing and into even more impoverished areas, and like they're trying to basically rebuild Crime Alley into luxury condos, and they're like, no, fuck you, people live in this area and they have nowhere else to go. Selena Kyle is now taking up the mantle of Catwoman again because she was recently on the news for doing a heist in her new Catwoman costume, and so we are now the Catwoman movement. We're standing against these bullshit laws that have made the city even worse than it was back in the days of masks. Um, and there's a really fun sequence where they rob Ace Chemicals to get a certain new fertilizer formula that they're making, and then they take it all the way to South America for their buyer, who turns out to be Poison Ivy, because Poison Ivy is now running like a feminist agriculturalist militia that's like selling this premium fertilizer around the world and helping stop certain um anti-environmental practices from taking effect. And there's also a great thing where Catwoman goes and gets her new costume at the beginning of the issue from somebody who made gear for supervillains back in the day. I'm pretty sure they're not a pre-established character, but it's just this old Chinese woman who is running a basically a drip clothing shop, but
Uh,
it's all superhero themed. So like she's wearing a Supreme hoodie, but it says Superman.
that's cute.
And then you go into the back and you see like, oh, there's all this like illegal but not making gear for supervillains and superheroes that are now operating covertly. Uh and like there's a great recurring gag in this issue too where her nephew comes up and he's like, "Holy shit, you're Catwoman. I used to have your poster on my wall." And she's like, "Really? Which one?" And he's like, the purple costume." And he's and he's like, "It's okay. I understand."
Oh,
Um and then later, Edward Nygma's daughter says, "Oh, I used to have one of your posters." And she's like, "Which one?" And she's like, "Oh, it was the, I forget what they call it, but she says it's the Julie Newmar costume." And then we flash back to Batman and Catwoman's first meeting in this timeline, and Catwoman looks like Julie Newmar.
oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah, it's great. There's a lot of really cool winks and nods in this. Like another little thing is to get a to get into Ace Chemicals, they want to use a certain weapon to have a quick getaway. So they steal Alan Scott's Green Lantern ring from a police holdup place, and they're like, and she's on comm. She's like, "All right, I got the ring. All right, you gonna get the battery too? We need the battery." Oh shit! And the battery is just smashed to pieces. And they explain like, "Oh, it was destroyed in a crisis event." Well, the ring is useless without the battery, so what did we do all this for?
Oof. So
Yeah.
you could. So is the better name for this book Catwoman versus Gentrification?
Kinda, yeah, that is the overarching political theme as far as Gotham is concerned. But no, I'm really enjoying this series. I think it's great. It's probably like there's still a number of issues to go. This thing could go belly up. I'm not ruling that out, but I feel like we're seeing a modern classic in the making here.
That's good. Also we have the boy Drippy showing up in chat. Gantz was an experience I have heard. Chinese lady with drip, count me in. Hell yeah, fuck yeah.
Mhm.
But in the meantime, book number 2. Hey, tell me about Batman Catwoman.
All right, Batman, Catwoman. What issue is
9.
this? Batman, Catwoman 9. This was okay. I feel like this is like we've talked about this series repeatedly. This is very much you're either going to love it if you're into King's Batman, or you're going to hate it if you're not into King's Batman. I really enjoyed it, especially the main future through line story of this, which is just Selena goes to Old Man Penguin and is like, "Hey, my daughter and the entire police force are trying to hunt me down and capture me because I killed the Joker. You're gonna get me out of the city, right?" And he's like, "I fucking hate your guts. Why would I do that?" And she's like, "Because then I won't beat you up. And look, I can clearly put you in your place. You're gonna get me out of the city, right?" And he's like, "Okay." And then the big end reveal of the issue is he told her he called a car, but then just Helena Wayne Batwoman walks in the bar they're in. And it's
Ugh.
like, "So are you ready to come quietly?" And she's like, "Well, god damn it." Um, and there's some great past stuff in this as well. Like there's a really cool two-page scene where Bruce is spar boxing at a boxing bag that Alfred's holding, and he's like, "Alfred, I don't get it. I don't understand why I'm fascinated with Selena. she's a criminal. They're all criminals. It's like a game to them, and yet she's one of them. And I don't understand how she can be friends with them but still work with me sometimes. And Alfred's just like, well, children can be so cool, Master Wayne. I'm sure they'll let you play with them next time. And he like doesn't get the joke at all.
Oof.
It's really interesting character stuff. But it's also going down a line of an interpretation of the characters that you're either really into or really against.
Yeah, fair enough. Anything else?
No, I think that's all I have to say.
So I read Black Panther, issue number
Do
2.
you need me to be here for this, or can I go refill my water bottle real quick?
I'm gonna be quick with some of these books because I can remember just a few things. He's basically going around to all his secret agents in the field, trying to get them back. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Though there is hints at the next issue involving Battle with Storm, so that's gonna be interesting.
Ooh.
Iron Man, issue number 15.
That cover looks fucking weird, but exciting for you.
Okay, so, the dude who's red went through a cosmic thing and became a cosmic god, but so did Iron Man, and now they're fighting on cosmic scale on who can be God. And then eventually all of the abstract beings come down and say, like, you two, knock it off. You're breaking reality. Fuck you, red guy, because you're a bad guy specifically. Tony, we don't know what you're doing. Are you going to be a good guy or a bad guy? And Tony goes like, yo, I'm Iron Man. I'm a futurist. I'm going to go to Earth and do dope shit. And that's the book.
Nice.
So basically he's Silver Man. He's Silver Surfer but Iron Man in terms of power.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Like, it is big, bombastic bullshit. But this comic has been leading up to it. It's not like it's coming out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
It's good. It's good. The Trial of Magneto, issue 5. This is the last book of the Trial of Magneto. Which some people complain that it's not really a trial of Magneto. It was mostly just, hey, maybe we should forgive Wanda because, you know, when you're mentally unstable and you lash out at people, you tend to hurt them. And then when you get better, it's hard to apologize because you weren't really in control. But
See, that's interesting because the complaints I saw were all just people going like, this feels more like an Avengers book than an X-Men book.
yeah, kinda. I mean, the Avengers were there.
Yeah.
But basically, it's revealed who killed Wanda. It was Toad.
What?
It was Toad. Toad killed Wanda.
Does that actually make sense at all?
We will get to it.
Okay.
So they send Toad down into the hole and they do the whole thing, and then we go into essentially, okay, what did Wanda do when she reconnected with both her versions of all that stuff and fought all the kaiju and did all that? Well, it turns out Wanda recognized that ultimately the resurrection protocols were only a half measure. Okay? That it couldn't resurrect every mutant. So she connected it to the magic of the world, and now it can resurrect anybody who died before, who would have been a mutant, and brings them back to life. And that is her ultimate redemption for M-Day.
So now she has saved all mutants forever.
Yes.
And also allowed the writers to play around with a shit ton more characters.
Yes. Oh, no. Hold on a second. We'll get to it. But then we cut to Magneto and Wanda the night of the death. And Wanda's basically going, look, You need to help me set this whole thing in motion. You're my dad. I trust you. And he's just going like, Wanda, you know how they look at you. And she goes like, yes, but it is something I need to do. I need to fix this for everybody. As she wraps magic around her throat, they framed Toad. Wanda killed herself. They needed someone to pin it on. Because if she went through... Because it needed to look like a murder for Wanda to come back through the resurrection protocols and none of the mutants to question it. Because if they question it...
They really did Toad dirty like that right before he's about to get a new Marvel Legend.
They did Toad fucking dirty. But here's the best part. Here's the best part. Toad, well, he was... Because he wasn't done under, like, duress. He was in the thing going like, I did it for the sake of the Brotherhood. I did it for Magneto. I did it because that's what he would have wanted. And, like this whole big, like, no, I did it for The Rock. That kind of bullshit. Rikishi bullshit. Like, I did it. Toad is in on it, I believe. I believe Toad is totally like, yo, this is going to save mutant kind, and it's also going to help my friend Wanda. Send me to the hole. I'm down. I'm Toad. Let's do this.
God, I hope the Marvel Legends team makes some kind of reference to this when they reveal that figure.
And then we have a final little bits. As we show the resurrection protocols in a new form as they resurrect John Proudstar.
Yeah, Reddit spoiled that for me, but it was the kind of spoiler where I was like, oh, that's fucking hype. I don't mind.
For people who don't know, John Proudstar is
Thunderbird.
Well, he hates the name Thunderbird, so I don't like calling him Thunderbird. But
that's his code name, though.
Yeah, that's the code name Professor Xavier gave him. But John Proudstar was one of the members of the giant-sized X-Men, and that when they made, like, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Wolverine joined the team, Storm joined the... Like, that whole team, he was on the team. But he only lasted about, like, 3 or 4 issues. Because his character was a basically native indigenous person, Wolverine. He was hot-headed, he questioned authority, he didn't like it there all the time. And so the editors was just like, let's just get rid of one of them because we only really need one of those kind of characters. And
he also fucking hated Professor X. He was the original this Professor X is full of shit guy.
Professor X is full of shit, he is a white asshole. Like, literally, it's like, you fucking colonizer bullshit. That whole shit. Mm-hmm. So, he's alive again.
In this era.
And Nyla Rose is writing him. Which is going to be fascinating and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Also, his brother's been on the X-Men for like years. He's on the New Mutants books.
Yeah, his brother is Warpath, right?
Yep. So that's going to be interesting. But the last image we see is Professor X and Magneto walking in on... it's been a common sight we've been seeing in the X books of Exodus gathering around a bunch of children and teaching them the story of the traitor known as Wanda Maximoff. Of the pretender Wanda Maximoff.
Mm-hmm.
The one who destroyed mutants. And, like, it's a boogeyman story. And so he starts to tell the story. Let me tell you the story, kids, of Wanda the Redeemer. And that the camera pans to his right, and Wanda's right there telling the story with him. They can't retcon she's not a mutant. She's a mutant again. But she's a mutant again on the island. Fucking suck it, bitch. So yeah, I understand some people going like, it's not the best book in the X-Men line. I can get it, but like, fuck this at notes because like, goddamn, I love Magneto. I love all that shit.
And just having Proudstar back in the mix again, that's exciting.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be, and his new costume looks rad as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But the next book, tell me about Wonder Woman Evolution.
Wonder Woman Evolution number 2. I liked this issue way more than I thought I would, going by the cover. It's a very simple issue, but it does some fun things where it's basically After getting transported away at the end of the last issue, Wonder Woman wakes up on what she thinks is Themyscira, and she sees a younger version of her walk towards the main city on Themyscira, goes there, and then is confronted by Steve Trevor, who is shooting at her with a rifle, and she's like, "Oh, you're mind controlled. This is some comic book supervillain fuckery. All right, I can deal with this." And then like he has super strength and he's kicking the crap out of her, and she's like, "This is not my Steve Trevor. What's going on here?" And then she gets thrown into a statue, and she notices on the precipice of the statue, it's blank. And as a little girl, she had inscribed her name onto the precipice of the statue. She had basically committed vandalism, and she's like, "Oh, this isn't Themyscira. Somebody's fucking with my mind, and I bet I have to beat you to wake up. So I'm gonna beat you. Okay, that doesn't work. I'm gonna run until I fall off the island." And then she encounters a quartet of weird, sort of generic looking demigods who say she is here to stand trial for all of humanity. And that is the cliffhanger we are left for the next issue. So it's a very fun, very interesting kind of play on a stock plot, but it's leading into more fascinating stuff with the series.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, next book. Hey, tell me about that booty though.
That booty though.
That booty though.
Nightwing number 87. This is a fantastic issue. Were it not for the fact that this came out in the same week as the another issue we're going to be talking about later this week, I would say this would have been the best issue of this week, because this is essentially Tom Taylor taking also taking a stock plot, but he's letting the artist Bruno Ronaldo just run with it in on art, because Bruno Ronaldo has been doing, you know how sometimes in comic book art there will be like those relief action depictions where like there's one in the foreground that's meant to be the present, but then there's like half faded out versions of the character
Mm-hmm.
all the way in the back, and it's them performing an action. Bruno Ronaldo has been doing a lot of that in this series. Very cool takes on that and versions of that. And this is essentially Tom Taylor saying, like, okay, here's a stock plot. I want you to tell it by doing those relief action depictions in two-page spreads throughout the whole issue. And it's really fascinating. There's a lot of really great just drawings of showing how Nightwing moves across the city and deals with various problems in his very much, because they're essentially just writing him as a peppier Daredevil in this series, but it works really well. Um, and the stock plot herein is that Bitewing gets kidnapped.
Hmm.
Somebody puts out a hit on Dick Grayson's head at the a price on Dick Grayson's head at the start of this issue, and he gets a phone call from Barbara, and he's like, "Well, I've dealt with that before. There's been people who put bounties on Nightwing before," and she's like, "No, they put a bounty on Dick Grayson because you started a charitable foundation that's going to change the course of this highly corrupt city on national television from your home address." And he's like, "Oh shit, fuck." So he has to run across town to get to his apartment and grab his stuff. And as he gets there, somebody is grabbing Bitewing to ransom her so that they can catch him. And so he chases these people across the city to try and to try and save Bitewing. And eventually Barbara shows up as Batgirl, and they run for this warehouse and beat up all these goons. All the while, there's this narration basically talking about just reestablishing where Nightwing is at as a character, because the last three issues have been a tie into an event, and just going like, "Hey, we did this thing. Nightwing's trying to be all about hope and changing the city right now, and he's all about catching people, and here he is catching and saving his dog. Isn't this great? Isn't this fun?" And it's like, yeah, this is great. This is a really fun done in one issue that is kind of based on the status quo, but I feel like you can just jump into this without having read the previous issues of Tom Taylor's run and have a lot of fun reading this. It's a really cool exercise in storytelling and artistry. I like this issue a whole lot.
Solid.
Mhm.
All right, fucking go on about Supergirl.
Okay, so this this issue, I've talked a lot about Woman of Tomorrow on this book on the show because um it's this story has just been a dream come true for me because it really feels like Tom Taylor, or I'm sorry, Tom King, taking and validating a lot of thoughts I've had about Supergirl as a character, that have always been implied by the comics, but have never been brought to the forefront because she's just never been a character that DC has cared about a whole lot. Um, and this issue is probably the strongest in the strongest take on that there has been since the series has started, because this issue is both another confrontation with Cram of the Red Hills leading into the final two two issue ending of this book, but also it's a retelling of Supergirl's Silver Age origin story, recanonicizing it with the Rebirth universe, which is fascinating because ever since Rebirth, we've been assuming, and DC has been very much playing it like it was just a straight continuation of New 52 Supergirl. But Tom King has made it very clear from interviews ever since this series was being promoted with issue one that he was a fan of the Silver Age interpretation of the character, and I think DC just doesn't care about Supergirl enough from an editorial standpoint that they're like, well, yeah, fuck it. We made Access and everything else canon again. Let's just revert back to the Silver Age origin because it is a more involved and more interesting origin. Even though I like the 52 book a whole lot, the version of the Silver Age origin that's told here is so much more powerful and much more gut wrenching, but inspiring at times than the 52 version. Because he replays every plot point beat for beat, but instead of the sort of the kooky 1960s sci-fi way it is told originally, you feel just how like it feels very try hard to say it this way, but I can't think of any other way to say it. How fucked up and terrible Kara's backstory is going into her arriving on Earth, the way the Silver Age tells it. Because you're also getting the narration of Rufy. The origin is being told secondhand, or Roof, excuse me. Roof is telling you the origin secondhand here. Because the whole conceit of it being told in this issue is we're going up into the final confrontation with the big bad we've been chasing this whole series, and Kara essentially turned to Roof and said she wanted to tell her origin because she didn't know if she was going to survive this, and somebody ought to know. And that in and of itself is a bit of a gut punch. And at the same time, the origin is punctuated by this great stuff in the present of Supergirl going up to the big bad they've been chasing and him being like, "Hey, I've got another one of those singularity black hole things. You know what this does. I know you know what this does because I used it on you once before. Just go away and I won't use it again. Leave me alone." And then she just comes up behind him and goes, "Hello, I'm Supergirl. And you're Cram of the Yellow Hills. You shot my fucking dog. I'm gonna kill you now." And then he throws the thing at her, and she starts running away at super speed, and it's basically the Thor Ragnarok "you can't beat me, I know, but he can" meme, because she then through the narration says, "I know I can't outrun this thing. I tried once before and it didn't work. So I brought help this time." And she hops on Comet the fucking super horse.
That's not the horse that falls in love with her, right?
No, that's a different thing. That's actually a different version of Supergirl even.
Okay.
Because yeah, that's what's the term? That's Matrix Supergirl
Hmm.
that happens to. Comet is a Silver Age character from back when there were a ton of Superman pets. Like he's of the same ilk as Beppo the Super Monkey.
And
So this is
crypto.
another Silver Age thing that's been gone forever, and Tom King is just going like, nah, here, and it's gonna be awesome because she hops on Comet and she runs away from this plot device MacGuffin thing so fast that they run past the source wall outside of the universe, and it stops the momentum of the thing that's chasing her, and she's able to pop it like a soap bubble.
Huh.
And she then flies all the way back to where Roof and Krem are, and he's just like, "Oh no!" And Roof is like, "Ain't you? Are you worried he has another one of those things?" And she's like, "Not really. You can only have one at a time, and they're really hard to make. He probably didn't have the time, so all he has now is swords and arrows." Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's trouble. I mean, because you're Supergirl, and you don't give a fuck about swords and arrows, calling back to the first issue.
Nice. What if the
Like,
next two
this
issues
is.
are just all her punching the face of this dude?
I would love that. That would be great.
Like
And then
like
just
the
one.
Giorno Giovanna meme of just like 10 pages of just punching a dude.
Mhm. And then the final page is them curing crypto and going back to Clark and being like, it's fine, it's fine.
We're good.
hmm But no, I absolutely love this book. I can't talk about it enough. It doesn't fit in with my channel, but I really want to make an analysis video about this when it's all done. And you know what? To to top off the heaps of praise I've been given this thing. Chris, do you know what I've never fucking done?
Bought a full run of floppy.
No. I've never pre-ordered a comic book trade.
Oh,
Do you know what I did?
you pre-ordered this?
I pre-ordered it from my local store.
Hell yeah!
It
Putting your money where your mouth is.
it's not supposed to ship till July, but damn it, I can wait.
Hold
And
on,
it's just
my
gonna.
headphones have been bugging my ear, so I can't hear right now. Sorry,
Mhm.
but you gotta keep kayfabe, bro. Gotta keep kayfabe. Can I do it? You can do the thing.
Yeah, how about that? But it is doing exactly the job I think it set out to do, which is Tom King has just, unless the next two issues are dog shit, which I highly doubt they will be. He has just handed us a book that is, if somebody says you like Supergirl, why do you like that character? There's like nothing to her. She's just a
A
female
side chick.
Superman. You go, read this.
It seems like it'd be a blueprint for just all right. Here's just all of her character. Just do this and you're good.
hmm
Anything else you wanna mention about it?
No, I cannot wait to have a physical version of this thing that I like.
Hell yeah. One Dark Night. Batman.
Oh, you didn't pop the cover up.
Oh, sorry.
One Dark Knight is another DC Black Label book that's completely written and drawn by one person. It is by Jock, who is an artist that gets a lot of buzz, but I've never encountered them before. Uh, I'll go ahead and say from reading this, their art style is good. I dig it, but it's not exactly to my taste. It's a little. It's just like I'd say it's 15 degrees off from the kind of comic art I like.
Mm.
Um, and that's kind of how I feel about this first issue. I'm not going. I'm definitely going to read the second issue of this, but I don't know if I'll read the whole thing because this comes off as very much set in a universe that's not too dissimilar to the Nolan Batman universe. Like this doesn't remind me exactly of a Nolan Batman film. It reminds me of Did you ever watch Batman Gotham Knight?
Yeah.
This reminds me of that. Like
Okay.
it feels like a version of the Nolan verse where more comic book stuff happens. Because the plot of this is basically there is a I forget what exactly she is. She's like an alderman or something for Gotham who has like a anxiety towards this one supervillain who's got electrical based powers. They are someone I looked them up, but I don't remember them anymore. It's like a semi obscure, I think, Flash villain
Hmm.
who for some reason was locked up in Arkham, and we find out through a flashback in this issue killed this person's whole family, and so like now they've had anxiety towards this villain and making sure they're properly taken care of and locked up. And this villain was in Arkham, but she had arranged to have them transferred to Blackgate, which we actually see because there's a couple really cool full page spreads in this where we see like full maps of Gotham City. And you can actually see like all these individual neighborhoods.
Hmm.
And like they show you Arkham Island and Blackgate Island are on completely opposite ends of Gotham.
Hmm.
So like, they're putting together a convoy for this guy to transfer him from Arkham to Blackgate, where they have more state-of-the-art facilities and they can take care of him. And at the same time, because apparently the Gotham Police Department just sucks at scheduling stuff, they're having a dinner in this woman's honor, and Gordon doesn't even really want to be there because he apparently hates this woman's guts because she's put in several laws that have made it harder for him to work with Batman. So while this is happening and they're doing the whole politician, we're nice, we're friends, but secretly I hate you kind of thing,
Hmm.
Batman is watching this convoy, and a gang that has it out for the supervillain attacks the convoy and kills everybody but the supervillain, and the supervillain escapes and starts heading for the nearest power source he can find, goes towards a uh Batman chases him all the way towards a Gotham power plant, and he overloads the fucking thing and sends out a giant EMP that destroys everything, even remotely electrical in Gotham. And because it's a comic book, that also includes cars.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to start a car.
Mhm.
Modern cars.
Luckily, it also, and then there's also a catch 22 of the EMP also knocks this guy the fuck out, but it also disables all the computerization of the bat suit. So the reason the book is called One Dark Night is because the last page is Batman putting this guy on his shoulder and basically going, okay, I guess we're gonna have to get you to Blackgate the hard way.
Hmm.
Because there's no power in Gotham, there's no power to the Batsuit, and this guy is unconscious, and there's a gang trying to kill him, but god damn it, Batman's gonna make sure he gets to Blackgate okay, because that's how Batman rolls.
Sounds like a neat idea. It sounds like Escape from New York.
Mm-hmm. It's all right, it's a very good premise. I just don't know if I'm gonna stick with it. I want to give it one
It's
more
gonna be
issue.
someone's favorite Bat book.
Mm-hmm. And there's some pages in this that like again, going by Jacques as a fan favorite artist, there's some pages in this that I'm like, oh, that'll be a poster. That'll
Yep.
be a poster. That looks beautiful. That's great. Like there's one where Batman is chasing this guy on rooftops, and him and the other guy are jumping across a rooftop, but they're like a very small bit in the foreground of the image, and then most of the image is just this skyscraper with the bat signal projected onto it. And I'm
Nice.
like, you could slap the logo for the book on there and make it the poster.
Right. At least it's not totally to your taste, but you're gonna give it another try.
Hmm.
Moon Knight issue 6.
Hey.
So Zodiac is fighting Moon Knight, and essentially his Moon Knight's vampire assistant goes to the other hand of Khonshu and goes like, "Yo, I know you don't like Moon Knight, but he's gonna fucking get ganked. Can you help him?" And the dude looks at her and goes like, "I fucking hate vampires. Why the fuck are you here?" "'Cause I want to save my friend. Fuck off, asshole." And he's like, "Okay." So he goes, helps Moon Knight, do the whole thing. He starts healing Mark Spector. He's on the table. He's stitching them up, and Mark goes like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And he goes like, "Yo, I don't agree with your methods, but like, we're both the hands of Khonshu. Like, I'm gonna help my other hand. You know,
Interesting.
I disagree with you, but I'm gonna help. Like, we're bros, man. We're brothers. We're like Khonshu's our dad, essentially. We're bros. Fuck you." Because he goes on and explains his origin of like he was always the smart guy in class. He was always very excellent in studies and all these different kinds of things. He grew up in Egypt. He grew up Muslim, and he read the Quran. He did all the prayers. He did all the rituals. He did all the stuff, but he never felt a connection to spirituality. He never felt it, and he always felt like he was doing something wrong because he was doing it exactly as he was taught. He did it like a good studious boy, and then he met Khonshu, and that's when he finally was like, "Oh, spiritual. Okay, yeah, no, I'm your dude. You're my dude. I'll die for you. I'll kill for you."
So this guy is Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, and essentially, Zodiac burned up Moon Knight's office, did all that kind of stuff, and Moon Knight's walking back to his place, and everybody in the neighborhood is going like, "You okay, Mr. Knight? Are you doing good, Mr. Knight? Is everything all right, Mr. Knight?" And his assistant looks at him and goes like, "Everybody's worried about you." And he's like, "Yeah, this is my neighborhood. I care about them." And as they get to the front of his office, the person who used to be in Hydra, who he saved, he helped his mom, he did all that kind of stuff, and he was like, "I'm not proud of what I did. I'm not that man anymore, and I never want to be that man again." And Moon Knight just looks at him and goes like, "I know. That's why he helped you. You don't have to apologize for that. Your actions are apologizing enough. You're good."
Nice.
And remember, Hydra is heavily coded as a neo-Nazi organization.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark Spector is the son of a rabbi.
Hey.
So, like, it's just interesting. And then the assistant goes like, "Well, your place is fucked. What are you going to do?" And Moon Knight just sits down on a burnt-out chair and just goes like, "Same thing we always do. Fucking take clients. I'm Mr. Knight. What do you need?" Just like, you can't stop Moon Knight. He's going to be Moon Knight. Fuck you.
Also, real quick for reference, what's that cover look like?
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, did you not grab it?
Oh, fuck off. I did. I keep forgetting that I do that so people can see our faces better. Yeah, Moon Knight.
That's a sick cover.
Oh, it is good. Because it looks like he's flying through the air, but then you see, oh no, he's lying on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. Legit. Moon Knight, the current Moon Knight run is really, really good. It's just fun, good comic book shit. If you like street level stuff, it's good stuff. Venom number 3.
That is not a great cover, I don't think.
It fits the tone of the book. Where basically the symbiote and Brock are not getting along. They don't know where Eddie is. They think he's dead. Whole 9 yards, and it's just a lot of like interactions, that kind of stuff, and a lot of background machinations of trying to get the Venom symbiote and try to make use it as a war weapon thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good. Sword.
Don't fucking touch swords.
Okay, so last time on Sword, we were told that Wiz was the traitor. He was selling information to Orcus, and then it was revealed like, nah, he's not a traitor. He's being a double agent, all that kind of stuff. A triple agent, whatever. And then throughout this, they're basically trying to solve all the problems. The Sword Station's falling into Earth, so Manifold like literally teleports it back into orbit. Just like it's
Sick.
Yeah, it's sick. It takes a lot of energy out of him. He's fucked over. Like, he's tired. All the while, Cable's doing stuff and everybody's doing things. Also, Cable was trying to control the space station as much as he could with his powers, so he had to stop fighting the techno-organic virus, and he started talking like a phalanx.
Ooh.
And like his arm started looking like a phalanx arm. And he's like, Cable self. And like everybody's going like, Cable, we need you to hold it together and stop doing the self shit.
That's not good.
Because remember, they're hinting that maybe the true path forward is a mutant phalanx hybrid, and that may be the bad end. So, hinting, all that kind of stuff. All the while, Guardian is standing next to the head of Alpha Flight and going like, you're an asshole, fuck you, what are you doing? These are my friends. I was agreeing with you that Krakoa shouldn't be the major superpower of Earth, but like, this isn't the way we do this, you asshole, fuck you. It's like, reaming him. It's like, you fucking idiot, all that kind of stuff. And then, top it all off, they're doing all this stuff, he's trying to get away, and then he gets to an airlock. And Brand's on the other side of it, and she closes it off, and he goes like, what are you doing? She goes like, oh, well, it's pretty simple. You don't know what the fuck you're doing with Krakoa. See, they think, just because they get a little power on Earth, that means they're ready to be amongst the stars. They're not. They're not. They're idiots. Look at this. This is my mutant ability, and that defines them. This defines me in their entirety. For me, like, this is all I am to them. That's my name, Brand, right? Bunch of fucking Earthers. They don't know shit. I'm just using them to get Earth onto the space floor, to make it a player in space. I don't care if it's Krakoa or America or anything like that. I will fucking abuse and use them. And you're an idiot. You don't know half of what you're doing. Basically, Brand's just playing everybody to accomplish her own goals over anything else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did not see that coming.
So she kills the dude in the airlock, and WizKid is just going like, hey, I saw an airlock? What happened? Oh yeah, no, he tried to escape and he killed himself by accident. What? Okay. So now Abigail is heavily implied to be the Orcus plant. All that kind of stuff. Bunch of fun stuff.
Also, it just hit me that that's a pun.
What?
Orcus plant.
Mm-hmm. Then we both read Spider-Man.
Yeah, two really good issues of Spider-Man. Two very different but really good issues of Spider-Man, I thought.
Yeah, and they're both Peter Parker books.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I would almost call what is it, 82 more of an MJ book.
Yeah, but basically, do you want to talk about the plots or do you want me to?
82 is basically there's a creepy guy, a vampire monster mash, kidnapping people in the hospital, and he almost eats Peter, but MJ saves him at the last minute. And 83 is Peter is trying to get back into the swing of things, pun intended. But he's got all kinds of crazy bullshit going on, and he's avoiding doing physical therapy, but he's not being very good at being Spider-Man because of it.
Yeah. It was nice to see Peter back on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
Back on his feet. Like, he's not really.
Yeah.
But it's good. Solid.
Yeah.
I love the cover for 82. It's a beautiful cover.
Oh, yeah. It's a really cool concept cover. I'll definitely say I think I dug the story for 83 a little more just because it felt like a more conventional Spider-Man story. And also just, I'm not going to lie, the whole avoiding physical therapy thing, that that reminded me of my dad a little bit, and
Yeah.
that was weird to be seeing a bit of my dad in Spider-Man because I'm used to seeing myself in Spider-Man.
Yeah. But they're good. They're good. They're solid. They're really good.
Yeah, yeah, it was a cool weird, I should say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Plus those flashbacks to Uncle Ben.
Then we both read Hawkeye, Kate Bishop.
I like this issue a tad bit more than the first one. I've still got my misgivings about this series, but I think I've warmed up to it now.
I like the framing
Um,
device of the captions being texting with other people.
yeah, that was good. I like how they get involved with the guy whose daughter is kidnapped instead of just shunting that off like a book normally would. And I like that Kate's not stupid. Like she realizes that this guy doesn't realize what's going on. And they start trying to figure out what that is, which leads them into even more trouble. It feels very Scooby-Doo, this book.
Yeah. It's good. I like it.
Solid.
Wolverine.
That's a freaking cover and a half right there.
Yeah, basically it's Wolverine just fucking hunting a giant monster to protect Krakoa's islands.
Sick.
Yeah. Like, mutants are ending up dead on the shore, and he's like, alright, I'm gonna fucking get on my pirate ship that I stole from that one dude that previously, and I'm just gonna fucking fight it. And it's like basically
Nice.
Wolverine versus Moby Dick. It's fun. Hey, you want to tell me about Superman 78?
Superman 78, very much feels like a in-between issue, I'll say, because it really is. It's transitioning us from the second into the third and final act of this story. There's a lot of great pathos with Jor-El and Laura in this, and an absolutely great scene where Superman shows up in proper size in front of Brainiac again and is like, and gives him the what's what about you've been a shithead and you've gone back on your deal and now I'm gonna beat you up because I'm Superman and I'm great. And it's a good solid issue. I there's not a whole lot to say, not a lot of meat on the bone with this one, but it's a solid transition into the final of this story that I've been enjoying a fair bit.
Yeah. Now you get to talk about Power Rangers.
Hey Buster, you still up?
Probably not.
No. I didn't dislike this issue. It was very it feels like the Eltarian War is going by a little faster than I would expect it to. Because we're already in what seems like the third act of it. Because a lot of this issue is the Rangers and Zordon having a massive counterattack and getting the upper hand on the villains that had trounced them what feels like less than a month ago. Um, and there's some nice character interaction and stuff like this with Zordon and the characters that we've been setting up him having backstory with. I love the cliffhanger of this issue of him arriving to retrieve the Zeo crystal on the moon, and then Zed shows up and he's like, "You're not getting to that before me." Um, and there's just some good, solid stuff in here and a lot of fun character interplay. Like I don't know, like the PR comics are like I understand not being into the concept of what's going on with the Eltarian War, but I'm enjoying the execution.
That's good. Those look like Avas.
Those are the Imperials. They are essentially Power Rangers Celestials.
They still look like Avas.
Yeah. Well, no, they don't look like Avas. They look like angels.
Devil's Reign, issue 2. So basically, all the heroes are kind of gathering up to figure out what they need to do to stop Kingpin. And eventually they all get to one place. Spider-Man, Luke Cage, Tony Stark, all of them. And they basically go like, Tony, your idea is good. One of us needs to run for mayor. It can't be you. What? You can't run for mayor, Tony. Why can't I run for mayor? 'Cause you're a rich guy. It'd be just a money dude versus a money dude. No one wants to fucking see that. Someone of the people needs to run for mayor. Someone who actually represents them. Luke Cage needs to run for mayor.
Oh,
And Luke Cage goes like, yes, I shall run for mayor.
all right. Legit.
Yeah. All the while, Doc Ock is gathering a team of people to help him find the baddies that they need to find, including what looks to be a Wolverine, a Ghost Rider, and a deformed Hulk from possibly another dimension.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, Devil's Reign is good. Tell me about the Human Target.
I'm very conflicted about this issue of the Human Target because, well, the cover does feature Booster Gold, and Booster is in a scene of this issue. It's actually more about Guy Gardner, and it's a very different interpretation of Guy Gardner than I'm used to because, um, I I usually think of, I don't know about you because you're a much more casual DC guy. I usually think of Guy Gardner as he's a jackass, but he has a heart of gold. So like he can be obnoxious, but at the end of the day, when it's time to be a hero, he's going to be a hero.
Mm-hmm.
This is him straight up being a fuckboy
Mm.
because the issue literally starts with the Human Target, aka Christopher Chance, waking up in his bed and Guy Gardner is sitting right there and going like, I heard you were hanging around with my girl. What's your problem, man? Because we established in the last issue, and it's been a long-standing thing that he has an on-again, off-again relationship with Ice. And part of the reason this whole I the whole case came to be and that Ice came to Chance in the first place was she suspects Guy because Guy was mad at Lex for having killed her, but then she got better because comic books.
Right.
And the last time she saw Guy, he flew off in a huff about Lex. And this whole issue is basically Guy being like, I heard you're hanging around with my girl, stop hanging around with my girl, and lording the Green Lantern ring over him as like, I can you see what this is? This is a do whatever I want and get away with it badge, basically. And he's like, I don't think it's gonna work that way. And Chance pulls out a gun from underneath his pillow and he goes to shoot Guy in self-defense, and Guy just blocks the bullet with the ring. Construct glove slaps slaps the gun out of his hand, and then Chance goes to punch him in the face. Construct brick wall breaks his hand, and then Construct fist just beats the shit out of him until he's unconscious, and then he wakes up in the morning and Ice is there with Chance's assistant Luigi, and the assistant is like, we got to go after this guy, we got to stop him, he's dangerous, and he's like, and Chance is just like, he thought he was doing the right thing, he thought I was messing with his girl because Guy has a warped sense of justice. He's always had a warped sense of justice, and he's not the person we're investigating right now. We're scheduled to see Booster today, isn't that right? And she's like, yeah, but I could make Guy go away if you want. And he's like, no, it'll be fine. Let's go see Booster. Let's go see Booster. So they're driving down the street, and he's in like a classic kind of James Bondy style car. And then Guy rolls up in a construct like Dodge Charger.
Hmm.
And they're at a red light and he's doing the macho engine revving thing, and Ice is like, Jesus Christ, Guy, will you leave us alone? And Chance tricks Guy into pulling out into the red light and gets destroyed by a truck.
Oh boy.
And they just zoom past him and are like, and Chance is just like, let's not worry about him for now. So they go to see Booster Gold, and Booster Gold is opening up, as the cover suggests, he's opening up his own bagel shop. And the whole thing is like he he flew around to different periods in space and time to find the perfect ingredients. Like his grains are imported from ancient Egypt, that kind of shit. Um, and I really like Booster and Skeets' dynamic in this issue because Booster is constantly making these like bullshit, goofy claims, and Skeets is just like undercutting him. Um, like, he's going to cut the ribbon for the grand opening of the shop, and he's like, "I don't need scissors. I've got a laser." And Skeets is just like, "You're going to break something." I am not going to break something. Yes, you are. He goes to cut the ribbon, breaks a window in the
Yeah.
shop. And he's just like, meh, same thing would have happened if I used scissors. And Skeets is like, that is sad but true. And I'm like, yeah, that's Booster Gold. That's Booster Gold to a T.
Yeah.
So they go and question him about a whole bunch of stuff about if he could possibly be involved in the crime, and they basically conclude Booster is a buffoon, but he's not a killer. He didn't do it. However, Booster has a silent partner, and we're interested in who that silent partner may be because it's implied that Booster's bagel shop is in direct competition with a LexCorp brand of bagel shops.
Mm.
And where would Booster get the money to open a bagel shop? I wonder if Booster has a an also rich friend who's also a superhero and was also on the JLI. I wonder about that. But in the meantime, Guy has caught up to them and completely destroyed Christopher Chance's car. Basically, he used the construct to take it apart part by part down to its component parts and has the frame up on construct bricks. And he's like, "Hey, Ice, you need a ride?" And Chance is just like, "Maybe you don't drink enough." While Ice runs up to him and starts flaring up her powers and basically scares Guy away. And we cut to later that night when they fix the car and they're going back to Ice's place. And there's this really cute sequence where we keep hinting at something's going to happen between Chance and Ice. He actually walks her towards the door, and there's literally a moment where um uh she says, "Do I surprise you, Christopher?" And he says, "No. Why is that?" "I had high expectations and you met them." "Oh, well, too bad you can't come inside then. I bet there are a few other expectations I could meet." And she closes the door.
Mm.
And we then cut to later, he's at a motel on his own, and Guy bursts open the door with his ring and is like, "Chance, you're fucking through." Oh, and Chance is just sitting there drinking a whiskey, and he's like, "Guy, it's late. Go somewhere else." And he starts fucking him up. He drags him outside with a construct chain. And then Hal fucking Jordan shows up. And Hal goes, "Guy, what the fuck are you doing? I got a call from the human target saying you were doing fuckboy shit. Are you doing fuckboy shit?" He's like, no, I'm not doing fuckboy shit." "Guy, you're totally doing fuckboy shit. You were about to beat him up. You know the deal. If I catch you doing fuckboy shit, you got to give me your ring for a week, or we're taking this to the Guardians." And he's like, "What? No, you can't take. I was doing a fit. Yeah. Give me the ring." "Fine." And he hands over the ring, and then Guy starts going off. He's like, "Well, when I get the ring back, I'm totally gonna fuck you up, Christopher Chance." And the human target is just like, "Shut the fuck up," and one punches him. And then Luigi takes off his Hal Jordan mask and is just like, "Can I keep the ring?" And he's like, "No, I think we should send it to the actual Hal Jordan." And that's the end of the issue.
Mm.
So, like, it's a version of Guy I'm not exactly comfortable with, but it's such a well-written issue that I have a hard time getting upset about
And
it.
who knows, maybe King will reveal more of the traditional Guy later.
Yeah. Or maybe, like, this guy is an imposter or something like that. You never know.
Is Guy sus?
Guy is super sus this issue.
Timeless.
Oh, here we go.
Kang the Conqueror decides every once in a while to have a human follow him around as a companion.
Damn,
Basically,
Chris Chibnall really jumped right from the BBC to Marvel, huh?
literally, to basically just show off how dope he is. Be in awe of me, Kang the Conqueror.
So Kang is literally just evil Doctor Who now.
To an extent, because he goes to the primitive time of Earth, and he takes all of his fancy tech off, just in pants, with a knife in one hand, nothing else, and goes hunts a goddamn woolly mammoth. And the tribespeople are just watching him and cheering him on. And the old guy who's walking around with him goes like, "Shouldn't you help him?" Like, and you go like, "Gods don't need help. He's got this. He's fine. We watch him all the time." And he kills a woolly mammoth single-handedly by himself with no tech. As we reveal that Kang's big motivation with a lot of stuff is the belief of humanity and how good how full humanity can be. This is not a moment I first met the Conqueror, but it is perhaps the moment I first began to understand him. I'm a writer and a lecturer at CB Human Studies. I have a very particular specialization. At that moment, I was a companion of Nathaniel Richards, better known as Kang the Conqueror, the moment 15,000 years prior to what I call the present, the Age of Ice. Basically, this dude is a man who studies supervillains. And he was going to write a dissertation on Doctor Doom, on how he is one of the most significant supervillains of the time. And Kang basically goes like, "Ah, bitch, you thought. It's me, bitch. It's me."
So Kang out doomed Doom.
Oh, yeah. I did just now in my notes. Talking about writing the book, but it will be me. The book is published with, the book it is published within will be such a success that you will be sent an invitation to Doom and Strahd. Give an audience with your particular specialization of study. Victor can never pass up an opportunity for adulation. Are you here to kill me? No, I am here to offer you an experience no one else can. I'm here to change your mind. Literally, it's just like, look how dope I am. I'm much better than Doom. And so we watch the fight, we do all that kind of stuff. And he goes like, "God cannot be killed. I am not aware of a significant particular tribe. Best known understanding. King's adoption of them serves no tactical purpose. He strips himself of his armor that could turn mammoth's tusks, his weapons that could vaporize a beast in a moment, and charges into the hunt armed only with a spear and a knife. But this is a tribe's worship of King is irrelevant to him, as is their survival. The fact that this kill will feed them for weeks, will help them immeasurably, means nothing to him. It is like so much else about him, an excuse for a challenge. You just want to see if you could do it."
Mm-hmm.
And like they're eating the mammoth now, and Kang just goes like, "How does it taste, man?" It's the I've never tasted anything finer. I spent a year in the Cretaceous period when I was a boy. Since then, I've dined across all the timeline. I've eaten meals such sophisticacy and such subtlety, such distinction that you could not imagine. But I found nothing refreshes the spirit and fills the belly quite like primitivism. It's like he's talking about the entirety of humankind and all that kind of stuff. And basically, something's going on as a timeline that branched off into another universe is trying to reattach itself to the timeline. And he goes to his little citadel and all this kind of stuff. And he talks to his servant and he goes like, "Hey, open up the timeline. Just set up everything for me." "Okay, cool. As he looks upon what the future of the Marvel universe will look like in the upcoming days. I would if I could show it to you. It did not want to copy and send. So hold on. Stop, you motherfucker. You're not doing what I want you to do. As a bunch of images are shown to Kang of the near future, of our near future in Marvel. Okay? So we see like a new young team and a couple things like that. The God Cap and all that kind of stuff. A bunch of bad guys teaming up together. Dormammu and his son fighting. We see Ben Reilly in Hollywood. We see the recent Punisher stuff that's been getting a lot of press. We see a new Captain Universe. We see a woman with white hair dressed up as Black Panther and a woman with red hair dressed as Spider-Man.
Mm.
And we see Jack of Hearts alive. He's a classic Marvel character. Also, a bunch of young heroes around an Avengers logo. A bunch of stuff. We see a hand that looks like not Captain Energy, Enigma Force stuff. We see the moon being destroyed. Who lives on the moon? Oh, yeah. Scott Summers, Wolverine, and Jean Grey. As we see a bunch of stuff, Ravencroft happening, things going over New York, and Thanos controlling Thor's hammer with the Infinity Stones on it. But some of these things should not happen. Others are moving in different directions that I've always anticipated and stepped in. Whatever is creating this chronal distortion is interfering in causality. It appears to be an anomaly, timeline trying to reattach itself.
Interesting.
And basically, Kang realizes, only one man would be dumb enough to try and reattach a timeline. That's a Doom. We're going Doom hunting. Like, this is a thing that never happens. Let's go fucking fight this shit. I want to see what goes down,
So this book is literally Kang versus Doom.
Oh, we'll get to that. We must kill the person keeping this corpse of continuity alive with sheer willpower and an unmeasurable cosmic penance. Oh, don't look so sour. I will do the killing. You should thank me, Petrov. I know exactly who this is, who it must be. It could be none else. We go to hunt a Doom. All the while, the Deathlocks bust into the thing and go like, oh, fucking Deathlocks? It's fucking bullshit. He starts to kill them all. It's fucking like, fuck off, Deathlocks. And he goes like, alright, cool. I'll deal with the Master, Avenger Prime, soon enough. But more important matters to attend to, wasting time supporting with puppet soldiers. And he basically goes, alright, cool, we're gonna go deal with Doom now. And the guy goes like, what about your base? Oh, I don't fucking care. I can lose it. I can build another one. It's whatever. I can have another built yesterday. What about your people? I have more. Like, why should I can get more. Why should I care? They're beneath me. As they're walking through this corpse of reality, another time quake. You left them all to die. They were nothing. You could have saved them. They were human beings. Dude, who exactly do you think I am? Who did you think you were traveling with? I had thought you a man of vision based on your writings. From your idolatry of Doom, misguided though it may be, I expected a man with an understanding that ethics and morality are constructs of the weak. I am Kang the Conqueror. The lives lost on Oracle Base are the barest fraction of the death tally upon my name. I have seen millions die in my name, and millions more die cursing it. Do you think me misunderstood, Petrov? A hero merely waiting for an opportunity to bloom? The ancient Greeks had the correct idea of heroes. Those men and women who were better than those around them, demigods who strode the earth and took what they wanted. Really just setting out who is Kang as a character for people who aren't up to snuff on Kang. He is a god emperor. He will conquer. He will take what he wants. He may be kind sometimes. He may help you save the world. But it's not because he wants to save the world. It's because, no, this is my benefit. I want it. I want it. Okay? And he basically was like, okay, do you understand now? Are you scared shitless enough? Look, I don't respect you, but I understand it. Alright, very good. I can vibe with that. Kang goes like, I can vibe. I can vibe you hating me as long as you respect me. That's good. And then they go to a graveyard of Celestials. The end of the world. Come along. As they walk up a building and just keep talking to each other. A doom is a doom is a doom, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And Kang's will always be Doom's better. All this kind of stuff. As they walk through the door, and we see Doom with two glowing eyes sitting on a throne. And he goes, Doom, it'll be my pleasure to kill you. And he looks up and goes, Victor? Oh no, you're a Kang. The Kang. Oh, forgive me. You're here to stop me from reattaching this timeline to the main line, I take it. But if you come to kill Victor, you are too late. He was the first one I murdered, as he takes off the mask and it's Reed Richards with 2 infinity gems planted into his eyes.
What the fuck?
And Kang goes like, Richards? And basically this Reed goes like, okay, so my timeline got cut off, everything was going to shit, and I was trying to save everybody as much as I could. So I killed Doom, I did a bunch of stuff, and I planted the infinity gems so I could power everything enough, but everybody still died. And I just want this place to reattach to the main timeline to make it mean something. Do you know what happens when to a society without hope, Kang? Total collapse. I never lost hope, not for the world. The trade-off was that I threw away my hope for myself. I would do anything to save the world. Replace my eyes with the time and reality stone to force my will upon the timeline. I killed Celestials and drank their blood to take their power for myself. I destroyed anyone who raised a hand, raised even their voice against me and my mission to save the timeline. And after all that, no matter how well-intentioned my actions were, what else could I be called but Doom? And then they have a fucking epic cosmic battle, all this kind of stuff. Kang will not correct others who think him a god. He has even called himself a god in the past, this is as he has told me. But now at this point in his life, he has little interest in pretentious divinity. A god has no limitations which they might exceed, while a man has many. And that is more interesting to the conqueror. The man strives, the man risks. A god does neither of those things. A god commands man, but a man challenges God. And one of those actions is more worthy than the other. But can this man still kill a god? Can anyone? And they go through this whole big thing, big battle, all that kind of stuff. And then Doom Richards has Kang by the throat, choking the life out of him. I know you're a family man posturing your false morality, theater. You were always going to become a tyrant, were you? No wonder historians believe we're related. Because it's never confirmed that he's a descendant of Reed Richards, but it's heavily implied that Kang is a descendant of Reed Richards. Mm-hmm. Basically saying, I got all my shit from you, bitch. I'm not going to kill you as a god. You're not worth it. I'm going to kill you as a man. I just start strangling him. I am better than you. I am... As the dude stabs Doom. Kang's partner stabs Doom. And he goes like, you would aid me in combat? Does that mean... Do you understand what this means? What, you're gonna kill me for it? Why? Why would I do such a thing? I brought you here. You're like one of my weapons. I expected you to do this, man. This is what I wanted. You played, like... Believe that the true human greatness lies in putting others before yourself. And Kang just goes like, alright, man. Your time's finished. I'll turn you shortly after your office. This is still my victory. I brought you with me as another of my weapons. Richard's Doom. The one thing you can count on them is their arrogance. This was all to plan. But you, of course, didn't know that. This is the very reason I take traveling companions, Petrov. I like being challenged. You stood up to me, knowing that I would most likely kill you. That is the kind of courage I have always admired in humanity. That is the element that makes our species worthy. That is what humanity possesses that allowed it to produce Kang. Basically, you were a challenge run. I wanted to do some adventuring, and you were there to like be a handicap. But like you proved yourself worthy enough to kind of be my friend for a little bit. Feel honored, kind of thing. As the man is going through a book, and he goes like, "Did I become friends with him? I don't fucking know. This fucking time fucked me up." He pours himself a drink. "I killed Doom, but what stays with me the most are the visions of the potential futures I saw on Oracle Base. With the pirate timeline destroyed and the main timeline stabilized, how much of what I have seen will come to pass? And why is this particular vision imprinted on my mind?" As we see, a simple signia on a page that he is reading as such, as it loads up for you. Now, do you recognize that logo?
Oh, this is why people were talking about that.
Yep. Miracle Man is coming to the Marvel Universe.
Oh.
Time marches across the Marvel Universe as we see like some upcoming books: Devil's Reign, Death of Doctor Strange, Reckoning War, Avengers Forever, Banner of War, Death of Wolverine, Amazing Spider-Man Beyond, and Judgment Day is coming. Avengers, X-Men, Eternals. The Celestials are coming to commit judgment that they said they would so many years ago.
Shit.
Holy shit. So yeah, that's fucking timeless. You see why it's a fucking weird ass shit that I had to describe.
Yeah. Also, I thought it was just a new mini following up on that Kang mini.
No, it's basically going like, hey, we're doing a bunch of dumb shit with Marvel. Fucking pay attention. It's gonna be good.
It's a Marvel Universe one shot saying like, hey, this is the beginning of the lead up to the next big event.
Yep. And here's the thing. I've always had this theory about the recent Krakoa X-Men stuff. Because my mind, it was always Eternals was the end game for what humanity would become. Before he enters Marvel Universe. I hope that's what happens. I hope they do Miracle Man, it ends, and then they go like, all right, now we can bring Miracle Man into the Marvel Universe. We can do some things with them. I haven't heard any official statement on what they're doing, so who knows? And that may just because of NDAs and whatnot. But my theory was that Eternals were always going to be like what the end game of the Marvel Universe was going to be. Okay? It's just that the Celestials forced them to be Eternals at that point. I believe that mutants are the natural evolutionary version of Eternals now. Like, they are now at the point of what humanity should be. And Celestials are going like, all right, cool. No, you're basically Eternals now. So we're going to figure some things out. That's kind of my theory on what's going to happen with that.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's really good. So if you want to see what it would be like if Doctor Who starred the Master instead of the Doctor, read that book.
Fair enough.
But I really like the idea of like really centralizing his character on conquest and challenge and challenging himself. It's a really nice characterization for him. Mm-hmm. Instead of just being, I want to control things. It's like, no, fucking challenge. Challenge me, bitch. So tell me about fucking Aquaman.
This issue of Aquaman becoming number 4 was okay. I'm not totally against what they're doing here with the whole giving Aquaman a long lost sister. It's playing with a lot of like Atlantean lore stuff I'm not super familiar with, and I'm not able to suss out whether any of this is like retconning or if it's playing on stuff they've already hinted at and built towards. It just comes off like, yeah, okay, this is a story that's being thrown at me, and it's not terrible in its writing. It's just I don't know what to make of this as a non-Aquaman fan. Like I thought this was going to be a good gateway in, and it feels a little more alienating now than I expected.
Fair enough. Anything else you want to say, or just kind of go like, it's doing stuff?
Yeah, it's doing stuff. I'm still gonna read the next issue because I'm far enough along in this series that it would be kind of stupid not to finish it at this point. But it's just one of those things where it's like this isn't bad. It's just I don't know what to make of it.
Fair enough. You want to tell me about Action Comics though?
Action Comics was fucking great this week because this issue is basically all right, the heroes have all gotten their asses beaten, and we're trying to figure out where we go from here because Mongol basically shows up, puts everybody in their place, and then puts all of them into his prison system and throws Superman in the same cell that he's keeping all the Kryptonian refugees that he came to save. And because he got his ass kicked, and this society is basically very apocalyptic in that it's all based on respect and whatnot, they kind of shun him, and he's still like basically pleading with them and going like, "No, I'm going to get you out of here. I am going to save you. Do not worry." And they're like, "Look at this fucking guy. He can't even fucking stand. He's been beaten so badly." Um, and then Midnighter shows up to try and save him because Midnighter had gotten away from the fray, and he's like, Superman, I'm gonna spring you. We're gonna go get the others and then regroup and maybe get out of here. I don't know. Oh, and he's like, no, I'm not leaving without these people. These people need me. And Midnighter's like, excuse me? We we followed you here because we all believed in you. And then you got your ass kicked by Mongol, and you want us to stay here now when you can't hold up against this guy? Fuck that. I'm getting my boyfriend and getting out of here.
I think they're married.
And I'm getting my husband and I'm getting out of here. And Superman's like, that's fine, whatever, but I'm still gonna stay here and try and help these people. As you see, one of the people who had been shunning him earlier was listening to the conversation and is interested. And also, one of Mongol's servants who had gotten his ass beat by Superman and was put into the prison system because of it earlier in the issue starts to believe. You see him saying hope, and he's drawing the S shield, and it's like, okay, what Superman's doing is going to work, but it's going to take a long time and it's going to be very hard. And he might be the only one who's actually willing to go through with it.
Hmm. But finally, like actually putting meaning and putting meaning behind the S means hope.
Yeah.
You know, actually giving it substance and not just saying like, oh, it's just what it means on our planet.
Mm-hmm.
But the last book is issue 4 of The Death of Doctor Strange.
Crazy how like all the most interesting books for us end up coming out during the last 2 weeks of the month.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna be trying to be quick because we've been at this for a bit. Doctor Strange has been trying to rack his brain figuring out who did it. He goes to Mordo and Mordo goes like, "Yo, this is too obvious. It's too suspicious. I'm obviously being planted. This is obviously a frame job." And Doc goes like, "You're right, because you would have gloated if you actually killed me. So I got to think through this a little bit." So he's fucking racking his brain into Sanctum Sanctorum with Wong and Clea and just going like, "Why did I do this? This is the dumbest shit I could have done. What, a young version of me who has none of my memories comes in with no information, no knowledge of what's going on. How long ago was it since I made me? I am dumb. Like, I am wholly unequipped to solve this murder. And then one of them just goes like, we just need to figure out one person who wants to kill you, but also frame Mordo. And Doctor Strange goes like, God damn it. Was it really that fucking easy? Shit. Well, and get everybody. What? It's a murder mystery. We gotta get everybody together so we can fucking reveal the killer. Let's go fucking do this. So they gather everybody. And Doctor Strange is full on theatrical. Goes, you're wondering why I brought you. All that kind of stuff. And he just goes like, the person who killed Doctor Strange is Castellius. Castellius killed Doctor Strange because he didn't, because Mordo didn't help you when you were in the Dark Dimension, and I put you in the Dark Dimension, so he wanted to screw both of us over. And Castellius goes like, yeah, takes off his hood, and he reveals his hands, and it's Doctor Strange hands sewed onto his arms. As they're gearing up to do a magic battle, as the fucking monster moms outside are like walking up on the castle, and it's gonna be a big brawl.
Sick.
Yeah, so like not super complicated, but there's some stuff going down.
Yeah.
That was a lot of comics.
Yeah, a lot of we could have very easily cut stuff down, but there was just so much good stuff in the last couple of weeks.
And even the stuff we didn't cut that we could have cut out, it only took like a second or two to talk about.
Mm-hmm. And even then, there are things that I still didn't talk about. Like I could have gone into detail about the little changes and different ways the origin is retold in that issue of Supergirl that just had me freaking out. But you don't need that. Nobody needs that from me.
But in the meantime, why don't you tell people where they can find you?
Well, if you want to find me, all you gotta do is just look right here. I'm right here. But if you want to find my videos, I'm at youtube.com/c/thevacuuminator, making video essays about tokusatsu. I'm also on Twitter, tweeting and tweeting about every little thing I want to tweet about at the Vacuuminator, and I'm on Instagram posting photos of whatever I want to photograph at _Vacuuminator.
Hells bells. Hey, howdy, I'm Chris, a Boingo writer Gasson. I make a variety of content on the internet. Do you want to see Twitch streams? Go on twitch.tv/Boingo writer, where I stream, where there's streams every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Do you want Twitter? Go to @Boingo_writer. Do you want TikToks? @Boingo_writer. Do you want Instagram? @Boingo_writer. Do you want video essays on a variety of subjects? Go on to YouTube, search Boingo writer. Yeah, but there's also other content we make, such as this podcast, which is every Thursday. No, not Thursday, Sunday. We try to make it every Sunday. Where we talk Marvel movies, merchandise, and more, and comics in general. We also have another podcast on Thursdays called Modular Wrestling Podcast, where me and this fucker talk about professional wrestling that we liked in the week. This week is gonna get fucking weird. We're gonna have to talk about some racism.
Yay.
And not even like legit, like, oh, this guy's a racist, but like, we're gonna have to talk about nuance. It's not gonna be fun. We also have another podcast called Components. It comes out on Fridays. We talk about a bunch of random shit. Then there's another podcast. Tell them about Twit.
You like Power Rangers? We talk about Power Rangers. It's a podcast about tokusatsu, Japanese, yeah.
We also have another podcast called No More Games, but we haven't figured out when we're gonna do another episode yet, so kind of keep tight on your butts. It'll probably come out.
There's no more games
right now. There probably will be soon, but that usually comes out on Wednesday. Do we have anything else to say?
I'm tired. I'm sweaty. I have to work in the morning.
Enough said. That's the wrong button.